Hello, everyone. I'm a new face that many of you probably don't know. Some of you may. I'm Arcadis, our resident showrunner. Having a few of our regulars and a face that some from our Age of Ashes show may recognize. Getting dirt.
Do they recognize that jig?
Back in the mix. For a little bit of a one-shot that was originally planned to be around the Halloween time frame, but, well, we all know how scheduling goes with the joys of anything related to tabletop gaming. So, this will be fun. A little bit of a departure from UGT's normal heroic endeavors. No less heroic than normal. But something a bit darker than our usual fare. Something many of us will, well, enjoy, I'm sure. Hopefully. That's the goal, at least. Of course, today, before we begin, I have some thanks to give to our sponsors. Arc and Forge, our fantastic map-making software, who, oh boy, have I had some fun making players laugh with various effects on there. Sirenscape, who has given our spooky atmosphere today. Eldritch Foundries, who typically would give us our minis, but, well, difficult to get hands on them short notice. Still fantastic as ever with quality. And our Norse Foundry friends, who provide us with such fantastic dice, such as the Return of the Malachite today.
Ooh,
a joyous dice of many curses that I'm sure will fit perfectly fine into Ustalav. And, well,
I'm going to have a lot of fun with this.
I would hope you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Just, try to live for a little while at least.
I'm not the one who's going to die. That's everyone else. Malachite will save me.
You make it sound like you have intentions for the rest of us.
I feel threatened.
I intend to be the one person standing, the lone survivor that makes it home.
Oh, no.
With stories
What a
to
shame.
tell.
He's
Everyone
very
else
used to
died.
playing a rogue who
I
can
thought
just walk through walls.
I thought we were playing a team-based game.
It's only team-based until the BBEG is dead. Then it's a free-for-all.
That is one way to look at it, I guess.
Sure, my guy's just gonna run real quick after.
I've lived a long, fruitful life.
I mean, hopefully. Hopefully no one, somehow finds a way to die in 30 seconds. That'd be a bit impressive. But one other thing for our viewers today, all of our typical tips for hero points, wheels and woes, blesses and banes, are half off, as this is planned to be a one-shot that, if you like it and you want to see more, please, let us know, because I can definitely write a follow-up and it will be fun. Hopefully. That's the goal, at least. But, well, we're just going to go ahead and immediately throw a wrench into your plans here, because we're going to start without introductions and get to your characters when I decide to. Leave the,
We're unimportant to
we're going to leave the viewers in the dark a little bit here, as we go into our intro here. We begin, as most of these tales tend to, with a shadowed sky, fog-riddled lands, deep howls and skittering around every tree. Shadows that are just a bit too long. Of course, many would know the stories of these lands, possibly from even living here themselves. Some of you may be from these lands. However, I speak, of course, of the ever-haunted, lich-spurned lands of Ustalav, where legends come to die and be reborn in abject horror. Stories are all warnings of things to come or already here. And really, if we're being honest, no one should remotely live here. Even in the terms of Galarian's hellish nightmare of a world. Much like many of the townsfolk refuse to enter the dark woods, as their sayings go, just leave them to the wolves. If they're lucky, that's all that's out there. We arrived today, not in a tavern or a dim-lit campfire to tell horror stories around, but rather with the sounds of mud-covered wheels rolling over rickety cobblestones and odd, shifting roads. Nothing that's so much as a path as it is just a way some folks have gone at times. Bumps along the road, creaking the wagon you all are riding in the back of, set upon an unnamed forest path that, given how rickety and bumpy this thing is, just the errant smell of mildew and rot on this cart, you're lucky it's staying together on this path. 2 beleaguered horses, hooves heavy with thick mud sticking along their body, a bit worn from the long trip from Caliphas. About 2 weeks of travel along the roads in the back of this wagon with few stops along the way. Our group here, sent by the Dark Archive to retrieve one of their members who has gone missing. One Yulvik Vesterbeat, who you all would know very well is an individual of self-preservation. He's a field agent of the Dark Archive who's managed himself quite well and has methods of remaining in contact despite certain distances, per se. Not one to simply disappear, as you all have found out. Sent out to investigate a town known as Lampadier. A simple letter sent by a priest in the town requesting aid. Some thing was happening. People disappearing. Yulvik sent out to start looking into the situation, and from there, nothing. His last response was one of arriving in the town and then complete darkness. No further communications. You all have had one standard companion along this long trip. A threadbare coat, heavy eyes, very much keeps to himself individual who has only given the title of driver to address him by on this long trip. A oddly old-looking gentleman with strangely heavy, sleep-deprived, young eyes. Never seeing anything more than that. Gloved hands, thick coat, scarf draped over him. Says little along the way when addressed, but he's odd, to say the least. But who isn't a Nuslav? I believe we'll begin here with, why don't we have our friend Corey here give me a perception check?
Yeah, I'd love to. 16 plus 14 is 30. That's it, 30.
That's a fairly good check. It's odd you don't see anything with it.
Nothing?
There should be something there. You've been keeping an eye out on your trip along the way. But something, a brief shift from an animal in the dark, maybe. Maybe. Nothing more.
All right. Am I on the wagon?
Yes, everyone is currently in the back of a fairly tightly packed wagon with the 4 of you and driver at the front.
I'm picturing the wagon from Skyrim at the beginning. Is that like how the wagon I should be picturing?
Close enough.
Okay.
Just add a... bump the mic there. Just a covering to it that is essentially a barely holding together canvas.
All right. He just looks out the canvas a little bit, sees that, and looks back in and goes, There's animals. They're following us a little bit. Just trying to start conversation, guys. And he leans back again.
Yes, they're many that will be around. As you jump at everything, you will find that you are jumping at your own shadow soon enough. Just keep an eye on what you can, is all we can ask.
All right, should I be worried about people following us or anything like that then?
Well, you're here to hunt monsters, aren't you?
I know how to handle monsters. Not so much with people.
If you say so. We should be getting to town in short enough time. You, catfolk, what do you have with map, if anything?
Going through some papers in his bag, taking a look before he finds the right one. Maybe half an hour's time. Not much. We're not too far out.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Horses will need rest soon, but yeah, close enough. And Edward, our psychic fellow, why don't you give me an occultism check?
Ooh, I can do that.
About to get spooky.
I'm pretty good at that one. Here we go. Oh, it's stuck. All right, that's a 14 on the die. So also a 30.
Some very good rolls here this beginning. It's seeming to fare well for everybody. You're a interesting sort among this group. We've several monster hunters and individuals of some investigatory practices. But you've got some ties to things that not everyone realizes they do. Some thoughts on matters. There's something about this place that's not right. Just
Aside from it being Ustalov.
aside from it being Ustalov,
In addition.
this place is not good. It's not a good place to be. Ustalov real bad.
Bad vibes.
It's what if we just took Transylvania and made it worse?
In every way.
We should start considering that more often.
Yeah. Be a good way to, I guess, tourist trap, literally, a tourist trap. But with some,
Bad juju.
a bit of bad juju, perhaps. You've not gotten any ill vibes from your companions here along the road, or even driver. Odyssey just seems mostly to be keeping to himself. Checking on things as need be. One thing you do notice, though, is it's a bit darker than it should be. Night's rolling in a bit sooner. Could just be that it's that time of year, but something about just the air feels off against your skin.
Yeah. I think Edward kind of feels like a sort of chill run down, kind of rubbing the back of his neck. Say it's a bit darker outside than it usually is.
This time of year, it shouldn't be getting dark this early. Is it perhaps that we go in a valley? Am I not paying attention?
You're the one with the map. I mean, you could have...
Sarcasm.
Yes.
It's too dark.
Horses can see fine. Lantern should be working for a while now. We get there and resupply. Easy enough.
Do you travel this route often?
No.
Have you traveled this route ever?
Once, I think. I did not get to the town proper, as back by the river we passed was where I stopped to drop those I was driving. It's where they requested. Then I returned to town, resupply, and make my way back to Caliphas.
Did they say why they stop at the river?
Not to be my recognition of their choices, it's what I was paid to do. It's possible they were vampires.
Okay, yeah. Because he pulls out a little notebook and writes down maybe vampires.
It's
Can't cross strong
common
water.
enough. This was to love. honestly, if I did not know that you are all watching each other at the same time, I would probably suspect one of you is vampire.
I've been keeping an eye on them.
That is good. It's hard with that one. Sharp teeth. Brief look over to our Knoll companion here, brought along with a interesting sort of mix to this group. A similar goal as our friend Brahm, you two likely having been getting along well enough with your goals of monster hunting and fetting out the darker side of, well,
Honestly,
what you've been sent.
I'm accustomed to people looking at me like I'm going to murder them, so I'm not particularly fazed by accusations and eyebrow raises.
It should be normal. I mean, honestly, I expected at least one of you to try and stab me by we were halfway through a trip. I'm glad you didn't, but it's just part of our course in travel through lands here. Easy enough.
Sounds like you have a very stressful occupation, if that is
Is that
your
typical?
immediate assumption.
I mean, when things, you go along routes and then people need banditry and whatnot, they think I have money. I don't keep, just kind of like gestures back to one side of the cart where there's a half-open box that just has some basic rations and supplies for this trip that you all didn't directly pay for, but your sponsors at the Dark Archive are certainly paying you well enough for this trip to find their missing individual at the town. It's simple enough. We get there, hopefully unstabbed. I mean, I'm not defenseless. Plus, the horses are fast enough when needed.
Sir, we are professionals. We have no intention of stabbing you.
Oh no, it's just sort of expected.
Have you been stabbed before? Is this why it keeps getting brought up?
Just kind of like raises the trench coat a little bit he's wearing, and just like 3 little holes that have never been patched that are approximately dagger sized.
Do you need a med kit? Like, do you need
those
medical
were-
assistance?
A while back is not a problem, really. It's uncomfortable when it rains, and it rains a lot.
I could just give you a bandage if
then-
you'd want that.
They're not open, it's just old wounds.
Okay.
I don't think a bandage is going to help his petticoat.
Does his
It
coat
will
have holes
hold
in it
the
too?
thread together. Yes. Just kind of sitting there, thinking a minute. I'm going to have everyone give me a perception check, and as we go through those, give us a physical description of your characters.
I don't know what my original role was now.
There's this. Sorry.
That's disappointing.
The dangers of sharing dice trays.
Yes.
So who would like to go first here?
Well, just down the line.
So, my name is Blackthorn, and I am a great gnoll, which is sort of humanoid hyena. So I have teeth that are quite sharp, as one would imagine, sort of like a hyena-type face. I'm wearing stuff that's clearly been just scavenged. It doesn't look particularly fine. This is sort of like we don't make our own armor or anything like that in my culture. But I do have a necklace that has small like dagger charms on it, in addition to little red beads, and also a number of like teeth and monster parts around my neck.
And what we got there for your perception check?
25. So 12 on the die.
Good, good. We'll go along with what everyone sees as we finish after our introductions here. Pecky.
I am Pecky Pekawis, a black catfolk with a black liminal catfolk with almost gray, seeing kind of off farther than they should be eyes, scars on the ear from what could be an animal, another catfolk, just claw marks, very frazzled, dressed nicely with what appears to be chainmail underneath it from what everyone would catch glimpses of, but it's hard to tell under the multiple layers of what is out of place clothing for what he does.
And your perception check total?
A 20.
All right.
Brahm is a fetchling. He's a taller man with long, greasy, kind of unkempt hair. He's purplish, grayish hue skin with just white eyes. And you see he's only just wearing a large cloak that covers his entire body, except he has one large greatsword on his back. And you don't see him move his arms out much, but just through travel, you can hear that he has equipment underneath it. He's just concealing it all. And he got a 17 on his perception.
Giving some balance to that earlier 30.
Yes, I've earned this.
Just brushing it off with some animals.
You gotta burn them out quick.
Guys, there's animals outside.
Do you know there's animals in the forest?
Whoa, dude, are you serious right now?
Brahm's alarmed, okay?
I mean,
He heard vampires.
they're like-
That's the new focus.
2 animals on this wagon, sort of.
Yeah.
But these are like full
Animal
animals.
adjacent.
And Edward.
Panning over kind of towards the back of the cart, you would see a tall, that is for his age, human boy, probably about 13 or so, like about middle school aged, dressed up in a sort of Sunday best attire with his vest on, tie since undone over the course of the long journey, sitting just kind of lost in thought, staring as the road kind of disappears behind the wagon, sitting with a 10 on the die, 23 perception check.
All right. Well, going along here, we have a fair range here. 17, a 20, 23, and a 25. Brahm's a bit distracted. There's
There's like a wolf or like a rabbit out
some
there.
animals out there. There might be vampires.
It could be a vampire.
vampires.
It
There
could be a
was-
vampire wolf.
There was the possibility of one dropped off in a river at an unspecified time in the past.
I'm terrified.
Maybe.
Brahm is on edge.
Maybe. Pecky's a bit distracted by the map here, trying to figure out these maps aren't the most up to date, partially because not a lot of cartographers want to go to Ustalav to map.
Perfectly
things.
understandable.
Yeah. Generally, when you're wandering around the woods trying to map barely used paths to cities with less than a population of 100, bad things happen. There's a chance you've kind of like not necessarily gone into a valley, but passed by some particularly larger sections of the forest that just have it looking a bit darker. Edward, that odd sensation still remains. There's this not cold, but just dampness to the air. And you can barely see the sky through several of these trees that you're going through. A lot of foliage up above. But it's definitely darker than it should be. No questions at that. Even the lantern should be making it brighter than it is. And Blackthorn. Brahm's jumpy, very clearly. You kind of notice Edward looking up between a couple of these sections of forest as you're passing through. Driver oblivious to anything that's happening. Brief, starry sky. You can see through it. Just kind of a maybe second or two opening. Look up, notice a couple of the stars, and both of you would see at one instance as about 3 of them disappear.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, that's.
What's
I'm assuming
happening?
that we saw the same thing.
Is it something worth looking up for?
It's something I've never seen before. The three of them just blipped out.
3 of what?
The stars.
Stars don't just go out. Blip.
Well, you can't,
Well, that
you
would
can't see it. You probably can't see it now. We're back under the tree cover, but I would agree that that is what I saw.
Driver, you heard anything about this?
Stars? I don't pay attention. I have to watch the road. I can't look up.
Can I make an occultism check?
Yes.
Can you make an occultism check?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I make an occultism check?
You're real
do that?
quite some
I got a
animals.
13.
Oh,
13?
Not so great.
don't look at me, dude. It's a 5 on the die. Oh, no. Okay, it's a 21.
That's still pretty
That's not-
good.
Okay, yeah.
Not bad.
I was gonna say, don't look over here
Our
right now.
psychic knows a bit about the weird and wacky of the world. Nothing immediately comes to mind, Blackthorn. You're searching your mind here, thinking what creatures would cause this, what you could beat down and cause to stop. Edward, your mind goes not to something in particular, but more to something you were informed of back before you even started this journey. The Dark Archive had received several letters from a priest in Lampadier, simply named Petter. Peter with an apostrophe in the middle.
Panther.
Thank
Better.
you, sir.
He had been the one to initially request aid for the city, namely as a result of disappearances. Several reports that had been gathered up by Yulvik as an initial investigation before he set out from individuals that the Dark Archive had contact with, or those that had returned from Ustalav as of recently. There had been several reports of places where people were going missing, the same phenomena happening. The sky getting darker, stars missing. And you're
So-
getting close to your destination.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of anything that would.
Well, but isn't that what before Yulvik left, he was collecting the letters. Well, isn't that what was happening when people were going missing?
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, yeah.
Yep.
Good call.
I
Not-
don't want to go here.
If it's happening here, that means people are disappearing here. Or somewhere here. Is one of you gone?
I think we're all here.
Driver's still here.
Wouldn't we know?
I would know if I was gone.
I'm going to have everyone just roll me a flat d20 real quick.
Maybe we wouldn't know.
The gong
Actually, it appears that maybe we would not.
Yikes. I'm really balancing out that 30.
I didn't do much better.
What we got?
15.
An 8.
Natural 1.
And a 4. Hey!
Rob missed
Oh.
the meeting entirely. He just was sort of absent
I was doodling in my little notebook of a vampire.
when things were being organized to come out this way. There was supposed to be a 5th member of your party, but unfortunately, last-minute issues with a case that he had broken. A fine young individual, goblin folk, that had an oddity about him, a strange coloration, perhaps. No green to his skin, a lack of color in his clothing, simply as if he was in grayscale. But the archive had a break in another case that he was involved with previously, having to send him out. No one's missing from your group. They just never arrived.
Could the stars perhaps be noting his absence?
How many
Strange.
How many stars were there?
3.
Oh, all 3 blipped out.
Yes. At the same time.
Okay.
There were still other stars that hadn't blipped out yet.
Yes,
though,
there were still
okay.
others in the sky.
But there's plenty left. Enough to go round.
And those of you that got, I believe it was only Brahm got higher than a 10.
I got 15.
15.
Yeah. Not Brahm,
Blackthorn.
sorry. Blackthorn. B names.
I got an 8, a 1, and a 4.
Yeah. Only Blackthorn would notice this. It had been pointed out it was getting dark earlier than expected. You can't see more than 30 feet around the cart currently,
Even with our low light vision?
even with low light
Okay.
vision. The lantern at the front of the cart seeming to dim faster than it should be. Driver kind of tilting his head up to look at it, shifting his hands on the reins, and you can hear the leather gloves as he kind of grips them a bit. We will not make it by nightfall. And just raises both of his hands up and snaps the reins down. You all immediately see the lantern start to shrink down rapidly. You can visibly see the light shifting in inches at a time, very slowly. Darkness is closing in. It's not night. It should be about maybe 5 p.m. It should not be this dark. You can barely see the trees at the side of the road. And something can be heard approaching. Fast. You can see in the distance a single bright light with the silhouettes of homes. Not large. But something is racing towards the cart. And it's faster than you.
And it's a light, like in the...
There's a light in the distance that you can see the town that you are
Oh, the town.
aiming
So
to
the
get
town is
to.
ahead of us.
No visibility on
there's
the
a-
thing that's...
No
something
visibility. You
behind
hear
us.
something in the dark, and
I've got-
the lantern is getting closer.
I've got
I-
an ability that lets me see things in the dark. I've got blind fight.
That only works adjacent.
Only works adjacent.
Blind fight would allow you to, if you weren't able to see anything, to get a just sense of where things very close to you were in order to continue fighting them.
How
Okay.
far away is it?
The town,
The thing behind us, can we tell?
a distance, but it's closing it rapidly.
Oh, sorry.
Now, go ahead.
I think instinctively Edward leaps up, kind of scrambling, and the bumping cart grabs the lantern and tries to shine it out the back of the wagon.
Give me a... What do I want that to be? Well, why don't you tell me what you think that might be for a skill check?
I'm very good at occultism.
I think this is diplomacy.
I think that's medicine.
Is this animal handling? Sir, I don't know. It's
Be like
Acrobatics, perhaps?
acrobatics, probably.
Reflex?
reflex with that. Oh yeah, I am trying to do it as fast as I can.
Acrobatics would work for that fine. Or you can make a
Fine.
reflex save to, like,
Not
save
fall.
grabbing against the edge of the cart and not, like, being as bumped around.
Okay, reflex or acrobatics?
Yep, whichever one of you would prefer.
Oh, okay. Well, one of those is higher than the other. Okay, that's a 9 on the die, so that's going to be... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. 24.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. That's
You'd
fine.
pull up this lantern, grabbing it from the front, and shine forward. You can still see it shrinking in, but it gives you a bit more distance to see. There's not any signs of something that is approaching other than the sounds of it. And you distinctly make out a familiar buzz in the air.
I can hear it coming.
Can the rest of us hear the buzz?
Only she hears the buzzing sound.
I can hear it coming. Can't you hear that?
I hear nothing.
Nothing.
It's buzzing. It's You can't hear that.
Do you know where it's coming from?
Do I?
Somewhere in the forest around
It's
the cart.
around.
It's
Okay, can I just draw my crossbow out and just shoot in the dark to see if I try to hit anything?
sure. Give me an attack roll.
Sick.
I also took blind fight, but it's really nice.
Is this what I do blind fight with?
No, this is just going to be
Okay.
attack roll into the attacking the darkness, literally.
Okay. What do I add to this?
It's a ranged attack roll.
Should
Is it-
be your
Is it
dexterity.
16?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. 29. 13 on the die plus 16, 29.
You fire out a shot. It feels off when you shoot. It doesn't feel like you're shooting straight. You kind of look down, and with the lantern moved, you can't see behind the back wheels of the cart. Like, you can't even see the road below you. You fire out, and you see the crossbow bolt arc much faster than it should, going downwards, to a point you know that it is continuing to go past where the ground would be. The rest of you see the crossbow shoot between two trees, and a loud just screech echo out from the dark. Give me some damage.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I did something. Okay.
Hey.
Let's see. 2d8.
Get him. Feed him up.
8 plus 5 is 13? Is that right? Is that math? 13 piercing damage? Mm-hmm. It's magical, too. I don't know if that counts, if that does anything.
It'll certainly not hurt.
Okay, sick.
Heck
But
yeah,
you fire
dude.
out this shot, and the rest of you just hear the screech. You don't hear the screech. You just see this bolt fly off past where the ground should be and fall and fall and fall. 30 feet, 40 feet, 60 feet, out of sight.
As he watches it drop, he's going to turn and go, okay, dude, we got to go. This is not right. And he just goes, driver, hit it.
Snaps on the reins, just continuing to fly off. Pecky or Blackthorn?
So I've been looking through these maps, trying to figure out what's going on. And I know we need to buy some time, so I'm now going to be skimming through, trying to find any which way might get us there faster, cutting through farming trails, fields, an old hunting path, anything. And I will use Society.
Works plenty well. What paths people would take, where they're gonna be able to cut through the forest easily.
For a 19.
You're scrambling through these maps trying to find a way to get through here faster than you would think otherwise. There's a couple of paths you could try. Driver fully ignores what you are saying, to a point where you're like trying to show him the maps of go this way, because they're physically shorter paths. Mm-hmm. Until you hear the barking of something far larger than a wolf, but doesn't have that gravelly kind of growl that a wild animal would. Just a deep.
At that, he's going to drop the maps and everything that he's holding, grab his spear, and start looking out, like wide-eyed in fear, trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Blackthorn.
I have not heard any of these things. Is my assumption, right?
You see him like trying to adjust to driver. You see Brahm fire off a bolt and hear this screech. Edward is acting like he's hearing something but hasn't described like what particular he's hearing.
Yeah. How far away are we from the town at this point?
It's getting closer, but so is whatever's following you. Anything to help pick up speed, get you there faster,
Okay.
lighten the load of the cart.
Right. I'm gonna reach into my bag and I'm gonna pull out a sun rod, just like about just a steel rod about a foot long, and I'm just gonna like whack it against the floor of the cart, which activates it, and we now have, if it works, which it may or may not, it contained the light. We know that the lantern did not work. The sun rod should create a 20-foot radius of bright light, and then 40 feet beyond that dim light. how far does the light from my sunrod extend?
The lantern has gone down to about 10 feet out. You can, like, holding it, Edward, you can feel there's more fuel in this than, like, it should be working normally. There's more fuel in here than it needs. Not giving anything. You slam this sunrod down, and almost immediately, all of you can just see, in the dark, a pair of deep, sort of emerald green eyes flitting between trees. On one side of the cart, disappearing. On the other side, a head creeping in onto towards the path you're going to, disappearing, showing up back behind the cart. Just every time it disappears behind a tree, going somewhere else.
Going to be fruitlessly throwing my spear at it. It is returning.
Yeah.
But every time I see it, just throwing it, trying to ward it off.
And I need you to make a reflex save, Blackthorn.
18. 5 on the die.
You have this sunrod, just bright, shining, same light as a torch, should be giving just as well as this bullseye lantern with its directional light. Smack down, cast out light into this area around the cart, and almost immediately, the rest of you don't see anything. Blackthorn sees, swinging down from one of these tree branches that you're passing under, what looks like a jungle vine. Like, it should not be here. Swing down and purposely, like, wrap around the edge of the sunrod. Give me an athletics check.
$36.
You feel this thing wrap and tug hard, as if it was trying to just rip it from your hands and chuck it into the forest. Thinking, you pull back and realize there's a lot less tension than there should be. You've dealt with these before. Just a brief surge of muscle, a strong tug. You hear a snap. The rest of you just see Blackthorn grabbing the sunrod and holding it like fighting something before pulling it back and keeping your way lit. And you see those eyes dart back as the light from the sunrod remains lit for a time.
Oh, hey now.
That's a lot on that one side. I hope that's in our favor.
But with that does bring the town very close, just on the edge of vision. I need everyone to make me another perception check.
Okay. Dude.
What is happening? What is happening to us
Not
today?
over here. Oh my gosh. For me, that's a 2 on the die. So a 15 total.
All right. You, Edward, wouldn't see anything in particular. You're focused on this buzzing and, like, trying to figure out why the lantern's not working properly. Just kind of, like, smacking it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can feel the fuel shifting around inside.
Yeah.
Nothing. Too distracted to notice anything. Brom.
I got a 17. 5 on the die
17?
plus 14, 17.
Very similar. You're
Or 19. I'm sorry, that's 19.
19?
Yeah.
Still very similar. What you saw shouldn't be able to happen. There's no hills. You might not be able to see that far out, but you're not on a mountain path. Just pure distraction. Mm-hmm. Pecky.
19.
Very similar. You see these eyes that
Too
are just
panicked.
hurling the spear out. Hand up. You all see spear goes out, hand comes up, spear returns into hand, thrown again immediately. Just mad panic of tossing this into the woods. You even see it, like, stab into a tree once in a while and just rip itself out and come back into Peggy's grasp.
Oh, wow.
And Blackthorn.
I got 15 on the die. That's a 28.
28.
Carrying this team.
Yeah, seriously.
You pulled the sunrod out and got yourself some light. Enough to keep this thing just at distance to not be able to get to the cart. Just as you get past the edge of town, where you can see from the center of town there is a road that goes straight through with houses on either sides in what almost looks like concentric circles. Third, second, first. And just sort of looking around, there's a light, like a very tall, singular lamppost in the center of town that is casting light out past the third rows of homes. But as you move in and you're like the light from the sunrod brightens it, the lantern immediately starts working again after you pass by the lip of this light at the edge of town. It's back to normal brightness, working perfectly fine. When you get there, you see something similar happening though. How the lantern was starting to fade in slowly, a little bit at a time. As you pass over, still racing on the cart, you can see that edge where the light extends from the lamp in the center of town, very slowly moving in. Not even inches at a time, millimeters at most. Just bit by bit getting closer to the center of town. You would all, having managed to arrive, find this place almost silent. Creaking homes with little to no motion inside, windows that are clearly shuttered or closed and have like planks of wood pushed up against and nailed in place. Really any way they can just not have access through windows available to see inside. No lights from inside of any of the homes, just the singular lamppost in the center of town. Nothing past where its light reaches. You cannot see the forest. There is just matte black past the edges of town. And you would probably estimate with how fast that slow creep inward was, you have maybe about 2 hours before it reaches the center of town. Getting here just in the nick of time.
I think you know what I'm gonna do. That's now my case. Whatever that was.
Our investigator has found his lead here with a strange monstrosity in the dark. But you all would get here, slowing down gradually after you've passed by, like almost doing a full slide coming around the edge of town, as driver's apparently very good at this and almost drifts the wagon.
Oh, okay.
Just coming to
Hold
a
on.
skidding stop, and you hear one of the axles on it just snap fully.
It's just applying the brakes.
The horse brakes.
Horse brakes.
Horse spray.
But he would just sort of come to a stop, look over at Edward with the lantern. That should not have happened. I don't know what is going on. I am going to hitch the horses, fix. He just kind of looks under the wagon for a second. That, I will be here. Have to check wheels, make sure they will not break. Our horses are spooked and need to calm those down. Sleep, maybe. Do whatever it is you came here for. We're not leaving until morning anyway. Need to get these things fixed.
Well, I think we're on the clock now, guys. And I don't know if morning's going to come in general. So
It's a fair point.
let's do something about this.
Let's start with that lantern. Something's got to be making it go out.
Edward kind of holds it up and just kind of fruitlessly is like shaking it, trying to peeking in like the little window that it would have and trying to fiddle with it, trying to adjust it in some
Fully
way.
normally functional now.
It is now fully
So
functional.
we're
It is
back in
now-
the zone
Yeah.
of it's not
Yeah.
being affected. All right.
Yep.
Just trying to like figure out if there was like something that caused it to go off within the lantern.
Give me a crafting check.
Okay.
So sorry.
Okay, so that's a 9 on the die, so 21.
Seems like it's working perfectly normally. Possible whatever was happening, because you saw the sunrod light, and then as soon as it lit, something happened with Blackthorn just holding it in their hand, fighting something, trying to seemingly rip it away from them. Whatever was happening doesn't seem to like light.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the lantern. That it's just a normal one. Anybody can have it. You can have. There you go.
Thank you.
And
I will need that back when you are done. It's
All right.
the only way for me to see at night.
Can I do a look through it too, just to double check?
Yeah. Cool.
Crafting, you said?
Yes.
I rolled well on that. That's 18 plus 3 is 21.
Same thing as Edward got. Literally, exactly the same roll.
okay.
So good.
It seems like it's working fine. It's got fuel. It wasn't like the flame was dimming or anything. The wick's not low. It's perfectly functional.
So
All right.
we're in agreement.
Looks great. Your turn.
A different take. Liminal catfolk can see magic. Looking over this, do I see any remnants of any schools of magic that might have affected it?
Give me an occultism check.
Come on now.
So, you're not going to believe it. That's a 21.
You're gonna make some kind of check on it.
I rolled a 2 plus 18, and I have a thing that gives me a +1 when making occultism checks on stuff like this, making it a 21.
Whatever Blackthorn decides is also a 21, I'm just going to count it as a success. With the magic here, you can see traces. It has something on it, but it's not magic. You can see, it's almost like when you see something out of the corner of your eye shift, but looking straight at the lantern when it happens. And it's not like the corner of your eye where it happens. It is on the lantern. Something just seems different after a brief glimpse at it.
I'm just going to hand it to Blackthorn. That's going to make me motion sick to look at that.
Completely
So-
stationary lantern.
Wait, yeah, we
Hold on.
are we in the center? Like, are we in the center of town where the light source is, or did we
Yeah.
stop in the first ring?
You would be towards like where the cart here is on the side, near one of the
There are
side roads.
five carts on that map.
Pick driver would be hitching up the cart
I just
over
want to know
there,
if
and you
we're
would be
the outer
nearby.
circle or the inner. Like,
You're
there's like
towards
the
the
black
inner.
circle, the red circle, the white circle.
The white circle.
We're like next to the white circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
White circle, or some of us, your party seems interested in looking at the lantern, maybe walking that direction.
And how far away then are the woods? Like
From the center of town, or
from where I'm
from where you're
standing
at?
currently?
Probably about 60 to 80 feet. It's not incredibly far. This isn't a very large town.
Okay. Because the radius of the sunrod is 20 feet and then another 40 feet, so 60 feet. I'm going to walk 10 feet towards the edge. I'm not leaving the town, but I want to see if I can get the 60-foot radius to actually penetrate the darkness that's beyond what seems like that.
You start walking that direction, and you see where that edge of the light is that's still slowly moving inwards. The sunrod almost cuts at the same point. It goes a little bit past, but you can see where it is also starting to be pulled in towards that center. Or give me an occultism.
21.
21.
21. This is it. I can feel it.
Oh, and I'm sorry, guys. I disappointed you by getting something higher.
Oh, no.
Oh my
Our
gosh.
synergy is ruined.
24.
Come on, dude.
I can't even rent a hotel room with that.
You would notice that as you get closer, the sunrod, like, as you step to the edge, it almost, you have to push a bit. It's not
I
like
can
the
feel it.
light is fading. It's like something is forcing it inwards.
So like I can feel a physical resistance
Yes.
on the rod in my hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Pushing back.
Right. So I'm going to return to the group. It's definitely not the lantern. It is light sources in general. When I walk towards the edge of the woods, whatever is creating darkness, whether it is conscious or not, there is a resistance to light entering that space of darkness over there. So if anyone has the ability to create light, it would be wise to have that handy because the night is only just starting and that darkness is approaching slowly but without cease.
Interesting.
My light source is also, by the way, gonna last
Yes.
for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Just for like the
they
rest
last a
of the
long
people.
time.
Yeah,
Sun rods are just alchemical torches, essentially.
Yeah.
You all would, kind of having this conversation openly in the middle of town, still not a single sign of a person here. Would hear one of the doors from the center ring of homes closing. Gentleman, the first person you've seen probably in about 2-3 days along this wagon ride in. Sort of an odd fellow. Balded head with just a like old monk's ring of hair around the base with huge mutton chops and just a he's not shocked to see you. You can tell that this is just his default expression is just
I hate to be that guy.
just a constant look of surprise. A older gentleman with worn down clothing, not terribly maintained, but clearly stitched up in a couple of places, with thin bits of yellow thread going down to keep things both together and what looks like sort of embroidery to make it look better than it is. He just kind of looks to all of you and just, more guests. Last didn't stay that long. You'd arrive, unfortunately, in poor timing. Pray at what light remains if you so wish to. What blessings and comforts we can offer are yours to have.
Did your
Unfortunately-
last guest happen to go by the name Ulvik?
Mr. Vesterbeet, yes.
Yes.
He was here for a short time. I had presumed he was the one the archive sent. I had requested assistance.
Does that make you Petter?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Nice to meet you.
Lumiere, personally. He was offered shelter, as any of you are, in the short time we seem to have remaining here. If you so wish, I believe he left some things behind. There's a small abandoned home at the edge of town that
Gesundheit.
you're free to investigate as you so please. Books, some packs and papers were left behind. I'm unsure where he went, but it wasn't long ago that he left.
Simply point us in the direction then. It'd be good to inspect and see what might have happened.
He'd gesture down towards, like if you're in the center of town, the southwest edge, there's a small, what looks like a house that wasn't used. It looks like he intentionally camped out while he was here. A small fire pit, a portion of like a section where he was chopping wood, a bunch of stacked books and papers strewn about. And you could see kind of like looking around the town generally, sort of flitting around is a few just loose pieces of paper and parchment that have just like smacked up against walls and kind of been stuck there in either between like pieces of wood or just had wind kind of keep them stuck and not blowing away. The dark's been getting closer for some time, but there's been more ill omens of late. Rumors from townsfolk seeing things, eyes in the dark. Just, it's difficult to offer what comfort I can when there's not much for me to do.
You say he left. Did he give a reason? Can you tell us how long ago?
Perhaps a day at most. Just barely missed him, I'm afraid. Said something about, not to me in particular, I heard him muttering as he was leaving. Something about finding the source, where it was from, what made it. Beyond that, I'm unsure. He didn't speak with me before he left. Simply asked where he could stay when he arrived. Spoke to some townsfolk and was gone.
But you saw him go.
Well, he's not here, to my knowledge. I don't believe anyone's been harboring him, or he would have a reason to leave his things behind if he wasn't gone.
But that's not quite what I asked.
I didn't personally see him leave the town, no.
If he went to investigate the source, it's very likely he's not alive anymore, seeing as whatever it is now encroaching on the town.
It's difficult to say. Initially, I thought he was with the archive, having been sent to help, but I suppose, is that what you all are here for, was finding him?
Finding him and helping as we could.
Whatever aid you can offer would be appreciated. He spent several days here, speaking with individuals, doing his own, what I assume was research. You're free to go as you so please. The townsfolk, I doubt you'll have many willing to speak face to face, but I hear many of their words through the doors now. Since the dock's been closing in, not many have wanted to leave.
How many people still live here?
Perhaps 60 or so. The town was founded around the lantern. The lantern was here before any of the homes. Seems to ward off the things that go bump in the night.
What fuels the lantern?
I do not know. It remains lit. Its darkening and dimming has never been an issue before. It's just simply remained lit.
Do you see anything on that lantern? You got motion sick looking at the other lantern, so I didn't know if this lantern had special
possible.
stuff.
Let me go take a look at it, and while they're still conversing with him, I'll walk over to the lantern and inspect it.
All right, give me perception or survival if you want to just like look around the lantern itself generally. You can speak to Petter and ask him further detailed questions with diplomacy, society, or any relevant lore skill you might want to use. You could technically try intimidation if you wanted to, if you want to just bully this dude.
Can I do both? Because as an investigator, you can seek recall knowledge and something else that I would have to look for free as a free action.
Does it allow you to do it as an exploration activity?
I have things for exploration activities. Let me double check.
While he's checking,
Yeah.
I think Edward would kind of, as Pecky starts to go off, he's, well, I want to look at it too, and then he's kind of like marching up to catch up with them. And I would like to, if I can, as I get closer to the lantern, kind of like squinting at it, looking really closely at it, examining it as closely as I can. I'd like to cast Detect Magic.
Sure.
I'd like to squint so hard.
Do that, and that's going to lower the DC here. Go ahead and also give me either a perception or occultism check.
Occultism it is, sir. That's a 5 on the die again. But
Rough.
still a 21
21.
for occultism.
The lantern does seem odd. You don't see a flame in the center of it. It doesn't have any typical, like, casting the light cantrip usually leaves a sigil or something on the object that it's been cast on, and it has a duration. It's not permanent. This is just what looks like a almost stone pillar with a glass, completely see-through, probably about foot wide globe in the center. That light is just coming out of the center in all directions. But there's certainly magic here. A bit of conjuration, definitely some light energies with spell magic. But it doesn't detect as you would expect a light cantrip to function, or anything, even like a much more powerful spell. It doesn't detect heavily as magic. It's just present.
Yeah, so Edward kind of how tall is the pillar?
Probably about 20 feet. It's very tall.
Okay. He could just kind of walks up, gets as close to it as he can, and up on his tiptoes, just kind of like peering at it. And he's like, yeah, it looks like some conjuration, magic, or light, something or the other. Just peering.
I don't have anything that would let me do 2 exploration activities at once, just free actions I can toss out.
Yeah, so it would just be the one for this time.
And my eyeballs cast Detect Magic. So I will also detect magic.
Wow.
I wish my eyeballs
And you said use what for this? Perception or?
Perception or occultism.
I will use occultism. So that's a 19 on the die.
That's real nice.
So that's going to be a 38.
Come on.
Go ahead and roll me, first off, 2 d20s, just flat d20s.
All right.
Here's another one.
That's a 6 and an 18.
Come on now. Oh, hey now.
Yeah, so
I'm
a
gonna
6 and an
assume
18.
That's our side.
6 and an 18. Now let's see here. You would find, looking this thing over, there would be a couple of oddities about this thing. It doesn't detect, as we went with Edward, it's not standard magic. Something is strange about this. It's just emanating light. It's like Blackthorn's Sunrod, but continuous and much larger. You would see kind of sat just like under the edge of one of these small like stone altars, that there's a couple of things placed upon them that are like burned torches, lantern oil. Just looks like general offerings of things you would find useful
So
to
sacrilege.
lighting a lantern. But they clearly don't have a use here. It's just stuff that is generally associated with light sources. You would see set on one of these just a small, probably 2-inch long stone, just small ovoid, that looks like it's almost carved, like a crescent moon, sitting on top of a small piece of parchment. Picking it up, the stone itself detects as magic as well. And looking it over, this is clearly Yulvik's handwriting. Running along the lines of, you've investigated some things, you've probably made your own, red string cork boards now and again, late at night, fueled by coffee.
Catnip.
This seems very much like a matter of just a out left field possibility that he has just prompted. He believes that the sun is an obvious enemy to whatever is here. Detailing that it clearly doesn't, it only hunts at night. It sticks to shadows, doesn't like light sources, so it's going to hate the sun, obviously. But if it hates the sun and it hunts in the shadows, even at night, that probably means it doesn't like the moon either. This is a moonlight stone. You can activate this to cast 3rd level moonbeam at a single target. And additionally, you get this kind of buzz at the back of your head. Whatever you're hunting, this item will give a weakness to silver when it is used.
So, does this count as recall knowledge?
This is just something that you find out, and you rolled a critical success.
Yes.
So you find out another. Partially, this thing, while it was rushing towards you, it seemed to know what it was doing. It wasn't some mindless beast just charging after you. It has more than instinct and a very clear, like, hatred of light in general. You know this thing is going to be a bit weaker because it's such rage towards these light sources while it is exposed to light. It will be weak. Like, its mind will not function properly. It will effectively have a -2 against mental and emotion effects while it is in bright light. But those would be the two things you find off that look at the lantern. Not much able to tell about it, but you do find some interesting information about this
Clues can be
thing.
found anywhere. Of course, sharing that with everybody, letting them know, showing them the neat little stone that I found. And do I know how to activate it?
It's one action, activate, boom.
Okay.
It's
So
just it's pretty much you just like squeeze it and think to
Squeeze the
activate it.
moonlight out of it.
Yeah. And then
Fair
a
enough.
massive beam of moonlight will strike down and blast whatever you choose.
Nice.
Blow me up.
Exactly. Well, going off of that, I will report back to everyone what I found and ask if anyone wants the moonstone. If not, I'll hold on to it.
Oh, sick! Yeah, if you're offered, yeah.
There we go.
Awesome.
Just get a little cool little moon rock.
I just kind of am tossing it to myself, like, oh, this
Cool rock,
so
kid.
cool.
Brahm and Blackthorn?
Is there like another piece of parchment, like sort of just leaning against the building that's been blowing around? I just want to like pick up the nearest piece of paper and just look at it just to see.
This would be either relevant recall knowledge, so occultism or a lore that you think would be applicable here to what Yulvik was investigating here in the town.
Yeah.
You can roll occultism, or if you're just like searching for things around the town and his camp, you can roll perception or survival.
I'm just gonna like look for, I guess like we have enough people that would read other things, and my perception seems to be doing okay as I completely like, hex myself with that.
You get a +2 circumstance bonus to this as a clue in, as this is part of my investigation.
Okay, so I'm gonna look around and see like what other signs of his like reason for leaving, because his research, I think everyone can sort of read that. So I'm gonna see if I can find.
I think
That was very much on the 20 side. It
was
did
on the
stop
20
against the
side,
wall.
but it did like, okay, so,
So
it landed
it's
on
up
the
to you
20. It's
if it
up
was
you
cocked or
guys.
not.
If it got stuck on the side of the wall, I'll give it a 20.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give you-
yeah.
I'll give you the
I was thinking about it. I was
I'll
like,
be
yeah,
nice.
20.
how are you rolling this well? It doesn't make
My
sense.
perception is 33.
That's a very good perceptions. So, you kind of, a lot of these papers are just like scattered by the wind. Checking a couple, it's about, most of these would take about a half hour of like working investigation time to
Right.
like dig through and make an actual conscious
We likely
effort.
don't have that much time, yeah.
Well, that's,
Maybe.
you do.
Oh, we do. Oh, we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
You have,
okay.
this would take like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So you're
All right.
scrambling to find this information.
Okay.
Looking over Yulvik's camp, with a nat 20 on the die, that is 2 successes in your favor. This also goes for Pecky. Your further investigations, having kind of these revelations about how Yulvik is writing his notes and parsing his information better, you are going to have an easier time investigating this. The DC for both of you is currently lowered by 1 with a critical success. That stacks. So if you continue to critically succeed, this investigation gets even easier.
We're not going to do this, dude.
That's not going to happen on this side of the table, dude.
It's just a net -1 to DCs.
To the DC that on my side, so I
Yes.
keep that in mind.
Okay.
You don't have to track that.
I'm really proud of you guys, though.
Sometimes it's a bit rough for people
Animal
to start.
folk, we get the job done.
Yeah.
Nose to the ground, hot on the trail.
Going over to check out his camp, he's got a lot of weird stuff here. He's clearly like left in a rush because he didn't pack all his stuff. He left a bunch of books that some of them are just clearly empty. Space to take more notes that he just left them behind so he didn't have to carry them. But going through, you find crumpled in the campfire just a little bit of paper left. Looks like it was tossed in after the fire had been put out and was hoping to get caught by the embers that remained. You unravel this. And let me find my page here that has it. You would find this page reads the following. I think I've done it. Not exactly. No. Yes. Maybe. It's hard to say. Whatever this thing is, it remains in the dark. All of it. Its very being. It's defined by what is seen, but no one is alive who has seen it. A creature of perception that lives in the darkness. A perfect hunter, molding to fear and the dark itself. Its body creeping all around. It's moving in. I can't stay. The lantern should keep it at bay. It'll get close. But the archive will send others to find me. They should be able to have it. I have to continue. I notice something shifting in the dark. Can't speak of it. It'll take form. I can't report back because knowing of it just gives it more chance for speculation to grow. I'll send word when and the last words trail off as if he had a realization that writing this down would just leave it for other people to find, and having tried to burn it to keep whatever information here is away. Yulvik seems to think that this thing's ferocity and just sheer power comes from it remaining unknown. No reports that you got from the letters directing you here that Yulvik was initially sent for. There are no survivors of this thing. Wherever it's been reported or thought to be, the people that disappear are gone. They have never been seen or heard from again. Knowing what this thing is what he believes is the crux of defeating it. Specifically, naming it. Because this creature does not have a name. No one has been around it to see its physical form and survived to name it. The only way that this thing will be overcome is discovering details about it, which bears its own problems, because the more you know about it, the stronger it is. But to keep it down for good, you need to make this thing real.
Well, this is quite a difficult task we've signed ourselves up for, because apparently, in order to beat this thing, we need to know it well enough to make it stronger, to then defeat it. Can't say I'm thrilled about that, but it's certainly more than we knew when we arrived.
All right, so what do we know about it now?
Well, it doesn't like light.
It doesn't like light. It is fully a being that lives in darkness.
Green eyes.
Green eyes.
Okay. He pulls it he has a little notebook again. He pulls it out.
It has a supernatural power to suppress light.
Buzzes.
Don't know about the buzzes.
Definitely buzzed. What?
Okay, so when I shot my bolt, it flew and then kept going down as if it was going through the ground and dropping like
We heard you
hundreds of
hit
feet.
it.
You hit it.
I hit it.
You hit it.
I just shot it into nothing, and that's why I was like, all right, time to punch it.
Writing down adds illusions to people.
Okay, full of illusions,
It's conscious.
conscious.
We've determined it's not a mindless creature, which means that mental damage and mental effects will have an impact.
Doesn't currently have a name.
Right.
We
Probably
could
best
name it.
to not give it a name if that makes it stronger.
Don't want to name it.
No, I think we're.
I thought I made it weaker.
supposed
Do
to
want
give
to
a
name it?
Blackthorn would know from that note
We do need to give it a
the
name.
only way to beat this thing once you find it is to name it.
I say we call it Steven.
I was thinking
Done.
Stinky.
Stinky.
No one's going to be afraid of something named Stinky.
Stinky Steven. We found it. All right.
Immediately not afraid of him.
Working title.
Personally, yeah.
Working title.
Yeah.
Stinky Steven.
Listen, I'm not.
The naming can't happen until after we have
Yeah, we don't know
seen
enough.
it.
Oh, we've ruined Stinky
I think-
Steven. That would have been ideal.
Why did they send humans?
I'm not human.
Oh, why did they send
I'm human.
Come on, guys.
Oh.
We're on the clock.
Just because you've got fur and you can handle the cold a little better
Yeah,
than
why
us
did they
doesn't
send a
make you
tabby?
better.
I don't know.
You slept for 18 hours of this car ride. I don't want to hear this.
I would like to point out that despite sleeping for 18 hours, I have found the most notable information in the first 10 minutes we've been here.
I'm sorry. Which one of us has damaged it?
No one.
Gotcha
we
there.
don't know if
I
it can.
screamed apparently.
We don't know if it can regenerate itself.
Can't. Okay, could regenerate. He writes it down in the little notebook again. All right. Which one of us had made it make a noise then? Okay.
It buzzed.
See?
That does leave us with Brahm for your first action looking into this thing as things collapse off.
Hey,
no, the town.
hey.
Okay, so there was you investigated his campsite. He didn't use the house.
He didn't use the inside. Like a quick glance, the door's not locked. Opening it, it's dusty. He never went inside here. He clearly camped outside.
Okay, so with up to what was the sad man or the surprise man's name?
Petter.
Petter. Brahm will walk up to Petter and go. So people have been going missing, correct?
Yes, a few of them have. Well, from the town, I'm not certain. Sort of a transient town, but I believe one or two have disappeared.
So-
They could have left, but
So is there any like family of the people that have left or gone missing that are in town we could talk to?
not that I know of. Lampadier is sort of a sanctuary along Ustalov's paths. Those that are being hounded by beasts or monsters, a place to rest for the night before they move along. The lantern keeps whatever's generally chasing them away.
Okay.
So all the people who disappeared were just camping out at Lampadier?
Most of them.
So is nobody from the town?
Not to my knowledge. No children have been born here.
None of them have disappeared.
How did you end up here?
I found myself one of the first residents of the Lantern. I was being hounded by a werewolf and managed to escape its way here before being bitten, and it would not pass by the light. From there, I made camp, gathered what I could.
So the werewolf wouldn't go past the lamplight from the town center?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So there's some sort of warding with this.
That's good to know.
And he points to where the light is like slowly dimming. He's like, "How long has it been doing this? Like just dimming out like this?"
Fairly recently, shortly before Jorvik arrived, I believe, is when I started noticing it. The more defined lines where it's sinking in towards the edges of town. As far as I know, a few days perhaps.
Okay.
But it's done this before.
The lantern? No. It's never dimmed. It's never changed. It's always been the same luminosity, the brightness.
Didn't the darkness come when the people disappeared?
No. Didn't. Nothing happened in town. They simply were gone.
They likely walked outside of its radius and the creature snatched them up.
That would be my assumption. I'm not sure how it's, if anything. Perhaps it's just the lantern's time to burn out, so if this creature's responsible, I'm not certain.
Are there residents in this town who live in the outer ring of these houses?
A few, yes. Most of them have moved inwards, but there's a few that reside within the outer ring.
It seems that it might be worth taking a minute to warn those people, since they have no way of seeing outside. Could you point us to which houses have people still in them on the outer ring? So we might ask if they want to maybe, I don't know, take up this empty house, at least for the evening.
Yeah.
In case we can't.
You gesture to a couple, like, mostly directions, because you can see the houses from the center of town. Just
Right.
like, well, there's that one, and
Yeah.
Mary lives over there. Old Manuel's there.
Do you have like a library or like a church or anything we could visit?
Not. It's mostly homes. I have a few books and tomes of my own writings, and
Okay. Well, I'm
Aren't
sure
you the-
they're great, but that's not what.
Aren't
I'm
you
not
the
looking for.
priest?
as much as we have, I'm more of a. Some folk that are less than kind that pass through here that we still grant sanctuary and have in the past referred to me as a glorified lantern keeper. I have no magic to speak of. I'm not a cleric of any god. I simply tend to the folk of the town.
So not a priest. Yes, a
There's some
priest.
who pray to the light that remain here for longer periods or have returned from trips outside of the town.
And would you maybe direct those sessions? Are you present?
He is, yes, a priest in the sense of his duty, not faith or godhood.
While
If
they're
there is
having-
yes a priest, there is yes a church. So
While they're having this conversation,
Just
I'm
gonna
just going
point
to
at the
go
lantern.
knock on one of the doors that he had pointed out and see if I can engage a conversation.
Yeah, I'll just go with you.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think we
probably a
should.
good
I don't think we should be
idea.
going alone around
think-
the edge.
Yeah.
I also, as very useful as I am as a gnoll, I don't think that anyone who opens the door and sees my face is going to be very happy. So something
Yeah.
that's a bit more human might. I know that you're not a human, but something that's a bit more
Humanoid.
human.
Let's
Yeah.
come on.
I mean, I'm technically humanoid, but like.
All right, we're getting into the nitty gritty here, and I feel like we've got on a weird foot since we got in this town.
Well, Brahm, we'll have you aiding him.
Okay.
Brahm, go ahead and give me. Just going up to the door, you can attempt to like call out to someone with diplomacy or society. You could. Technically, you could try to get their attention with intimidation if you really want them to be like, "Hey, open up."
No, I'd probably not do that one. I have a diplomacy thing. Okay, I think it's a combat thing again, but it's the no cause for alarm.
That's like a full turn. If everyone in an area is panicked or feared, you do that, and it helps lower the
Okay.
effect.
So my goal is I'm going to diplomacy, just call out, knock on the door, and if they see a man with a huge sword and a wolf-looking
Yeah.
creature standing next to them, they freak out. I'll do that to try to calm them down.
Alrighty, give me.
Okay, so diplomacy.
Yep.
Okay. It's a 2 on the dice plus 10. So that's a 12.
You would. Well, what do you say as you're trying
Do you
to
need
get
me to
these-
roll aid first, or
You would need to roll aid, yes.
okay?
That will matter here.
Oh, I thought you were.
Okay. Do you want me?
aiding with
But do you need to aid before or after he does the thing?
It's technically the same time, but it's just you're giving him a bonus to his roll,
Right.
Based on what you roll. So
Go ahead, yeah, let's go ahead and roll that. Then
let's do
we'll
that.
see what we'll see what Brahm has to say.
Do I add anything to this, or is it just flat? What is this?
what are you trying to aid him with? Like
Oh,
diplomacy?
society work.
Yeah.
Okay, 18 on the die, so
How do you do it?
29.
Come on, dude.
That'll give him a. you are expert in diplomacy, or
In society, I am.
society, yeah.
No, I'm trained. I'm just.
all right? So that's gonna give you a +1.
I just rolled well.
Brings you a 13. That does make it not a critical failure.
Okay, thank you.
Hey.
Bang on these doors, and you can clearly hear someone shifting beside. There's no response, just dead silence. And you can briefly hear like a chair being shoved up against the door, but they do not acknowledge it.
Hey, we're here to help. There's a shadow thing or something attacking, and it's coming for you guys first. So we're trying to make sure you leave.
Can't get in. Go away. No.
I wasn't trying. Okay, can I try to do that thing, the calm thing, if that does anything, or no cause for alarm?
I'll give me another diplomacy roll.
Thank you so much. You know what? Hang on.
You got a
Realized you did.
bless.
Give me a different d20. Okay.
Someone just blessed you. That's
Oh, I got blessed.
What?
Yep.
who blessed.
So I will also
Bobby.
Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Hey.
clue you in,
Okay.
and it's a +1, not a +2.
Okay.
What is Bless's bonus?
It's if you need +1 to meet
Okay.
the roll.
Yeah,
you
so
get a
these stack.
+1.
Okay.
So you just get a flat +1 to this roll.
Okay.
No, it only happens. It activates.
No,
if you're-
my thing.
Oh, your thing. Oh, okay.
Okay. So I get a +1.
Try being quieter.
Oh, good idea. That's what is wrong with me? It's a 6 on the dice.
Give us some new dice.
This
That
is
was
your
the new one.
It's just me. +1, so 17.
Seven.
Plus 10,
Yeah,
17.
It's not gonna be able to get inside. We don't have any light in here. We'll be fine. No. Go away.
I'm just gonna walk away from him to the other one of the other houses, completely just like, this is useless. Even with my null face, I think I can do better than this. I'm gonna go to the next door and knock on it, and I'm gonna do society. Oh, 15. Apparently
15
I didn't
total?
hear how-
Total.
15 total. 4 on the die.
gonna say.
Banging on another door, just like you don't go that far, so clearly the people still heard.
Oh my God.
Change going on.
Can I aid in that somehow?
Sure.
I think I'm gonna
Just
do it.
follow.
Let me try to do something.
Funny.
I want to do something.
Try being quieter. Did you say yell to the second house?
This is okay.
Is it a 1?
It's a
You're getting
5.
Worse and worse.
It's a 5 plus 10 is a 15.
The good news, it's not a crit failure, so it doesn't negatively
It's only
impact you.
Yeah.
But banging
is,
on this second door here,
Give me a green d20.
kind of you don't hear
Go through.
anyone particular. You just hear kind of a tap on one of the windows, and just we're not supposed to leave. I talked to that gentleman. He said if we stay inside, we should be safer. I don't know where he went, but I think I'm gonna stay here.
Oh, well, it sounds like our colleague then.
That's our boy.
May have. He seemed pretty confident in what needed to be done, so I
right.
guess we can stop knocking on doors.
All right. Well,
Probably for the better.
yeah, they don't seem to care for us, which is weird. It's very odd.
Not that weird.
Okay, well, you couldn't have let me have that. And he walks away.
Yeah, just average, just a complete stranger.
Like a
who
hyena
just showed up.
laughing at you as we walk away.
Complete stranger who just shows up, knocks the door. Hey, can you get out of your house?
Hey, please
Get out of there,
leave.
man.
Please leave.
I should have intimidated them.
So, alternative strategy to banging on doors and trying to get people's attention. We're going to go with the little Timmy approach. And I'm going to bring the child with me to one of the houses on the other side of town. Please, would you open the door? We have a child out here who we would like to seek shelter.
I can't find me, Mum.
And
Please.
little Timmy needs a house.
Diplomacy to assist.
Who do you want to assist?
She's assisting you. You're bringing little Timmy.
I rolled this diplomacy.
Diplomacy to assist.
It's a 4 on the die.
Can we trade seats? Can we trade seats with them?
Yeah, what dice are you
I'm
using?
trained in diplomacy. I forgot to put it on my sheet.
That's a 4 on the die, so with diplomacy, that's a 16.
Not going to negatively impact things here.
Okay, that's awesome.
Alrighty.
And then diplomacy for our investigator friend here.
Come on, man.
Come on, you're carrying this.
23.
That's so good.
23.
24
Broke
because it's
20
my
in
investigation.
So long.
Give me a roll of a D8.
Come on.
I cannot. That depth
Whoa.
perception today.
Easy.
Hey,
I'm so scared. There's open
brother.
That is a
flame.
3.
Yeah. Oh,
A 3? You would just kind of like pressed up against the door, hear a kind of gruffer voice. Look, there's other houses. I only got so much food. The kid can hide in one of those.
it's so cold.
Ask Petter for a blanket. All I'm telling you is don't go on the left side of town. Saw claw marks on the stones over there.
Oh.
Wonderful. Thank you for the information, good sir. We will make sure to stay far to the right.
And we step back.
Immediately.
So are we going to the left side? Okay, so we're gonna.
And before we begin our second phase of investigation here, well, for half of the party, for Edwards looking into and Brahms' possibly continued harassment of citizens of Lampadier, I believe this is then we're going to take a short 10-minute break. Once we get back, we will continue this investigation and see how the light is faring. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Just a brief break for us to stretch our legs and such. Hopefully you did as well. Quick shout-outs once more to Arkenforge, our fantastic map software, for showing off our NPC art, and the town of Lampadier, as we've brought up a few times here. Sirenscape for our fantastic sound sets and glorious music of the strange noises going on at all times. Eldritch Foundry for our fantastic minis, and Norse Foundry for our dice that Corey is having some issues with today.
I'm trying so hard. I'm doing my absolute best.
The absolute fool has touched the malachite.
Yeah, we've had the cursed deal occur. Corey has agreed to take the malachite. From
And of course, we all know what the malachite is, but like, if somebody here didn't know
I was getting to that.
what it was, then
It's
no, I know.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
I was getting to that.
It's a fancy gem dice.
The malachite, for our newer viewers, is a gemstone dice from Norse Foundry that is fantastic. They look great. They roll perfectly well. The cursed part of it is anyone that has touched that die, aside from our friend Derp or Pecky here, has just decided to hand over all of their luck for the session to Derp.
I roll an unfair amount of high numbers and natural 20s, and it's become a sort of meme that it's the malachite. It's just me, but we like to blame the malachite.
What kind of deals did you make, dude? Like, what's that? Ain't some
I got the
right.
devil on speed dial.
I ran the numbers.
Well, I had very little luck anyway, so
We'll find out.
take the tiny amount I
Fair,
had.
it's not going to change much if this is how it goes.
You'll get one good dice roll out of that.
All the 4s go down to 1s now.
But all of our fantastic sponsors here, if you use the code UGT Show on their stores, you will get various discounts. North Foundry is on the entire site. Eldritch Foundry is a discount on any minis that you would make, or the STL files to 3D print them yourself if you wanted to. Sirenscape is just fantastic. I would heavily recommend getting their software. I don't believe we have any discount codes with them, but they're very well priced and very much well worth much getting your ambiance out there for your players to really get into the game. And Arkenforge, you get some free map packs, or well, reduced. I think they're like $5 map packs for various elements and things of fun nature to throw at your players in mid-game. But I believe we'll be going back into Brom or Edwards' investigation into the town and what's going on exactly.
Brahm's gonna, after having his feelings hurt by a lot of people simultaneously, he's gonna go back to the camp and try to investigate to see if there's anything else going on there.
Ready? You can go ahead and either, if you're just looking around for stuff that you might find here, perception or survival, you could go for lore or any relevant recall knowledge, occultism, arcana, nature, any of the sort, to dig through Yulvik's notes and find stuff that might be relevant.
Can I do an occultism roll on it? Cool. That's the good thing I'm good at. or athletics, but I don't think I can do a sick flip in front of the.
Do push-ups to impress the book.
Hey, it's an 18 on the die.
What we got total there?
18
That might
plus
be a crit.
what is plus 13 is
31.
31. I almost said that.
With a bless,
I'll do it. I'll take that bless.
that's 32.
Yes.
That's a critical success.
I did something good. I aided my team.
Where are your hands?
They're gone. The dice took them.
Further investigations for you will be reduced by 1 for the DC on my side.
Oh, thank God.
Track of that.
I did get that down to 0.
And roll me 2d20.
Oh, no. I think we're back. All right, I have 2d20. 8 and a 1.
8 and
That's
1.
right, baby. I'm back. Oh, you thought that was it? No.
You rolled 18 again.
I did roll an 18 again.
By the strictest definitions, if we put the dice beside each other, yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
8 and a 1.
Oh my gosh.
You parse through some of Yulvik's
man.
notes here. He rarely found signs of this thing where it was suspected of being, where people had disappeared, where there was signs of it. He rarely found signs that it was injured at all. And the few cases where he did, those signs faded quickly. You're relatively confident that this thing has some regenerative capabilities when it is hiding in the dark.
Beans.
We called that one.
You effectively know that while not in bright light, whatever this thing is will effectively have fast healing 5, meaning at the beginning of each of its turns, it will heal 5 health.
Yeah, well, me
can do
too,
that.
though.
Yeah.
Actually, we all do that, so it's not actually that cool.
Yeah. It's kind of pitiful that it's not higher.
Reading through a couple of other things, though, Yulvik, you're a monster hunter. You've been doing this for a while. Yulvik's eccentric. He's an interesting fellow who is extremely superstitious. This guy would like do a full ritual if a black cat crossed his path or he walked under a ladder. But going back to the stories and folk tales, he seems to have done something while here in town to sort of push back against this thing. It will have a -1 to all of its saves.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, they're not all bad.
I'm sure some of
out.
these are like it automatically crits you if you look at it wrong or something.
I mean, there's one on here that's like, hey, do you want to fight 3 of them instead?
Yeah.
Is one of them that it dies of a heart attack if I look at it good?
That's just a feet you
One
can
of
take.
them.
That's a feat I can take?
Yeah.
Hey, I took that feat.
That's level 15, my guy.
I took that feat 3 times.
Level 15 feet.
You gotta get like 7 more levels.
I'm
Don't ask questions.
Absorb Edward, and then you can...
I consume Edward.
But some good notes with Yulvik's. And while you're over there, go ahead and give me a perception check as well.
Stop asking
on.
me to roll dice.
No, I'm going to keep asking you to roll dice now.
Come on.
Only
man,
asking you to
please.
roll
For the
dice.
dice gods.
A double digit.
Nope, it's a 6.
What?
6 for a
Plus
total.
14, so that's 20.
Yeah, kind of looking around, you
Hey,
wouldn't find...
you know what 6 is?
1/3
A
of
serious
18.
number?
1/3, yes.
We're going,
It's
we're
full
going down
circle,
this
baby.
path.
It's 18 all the way down.
Exactly.
Kind of looking through, he's got a lot of stuff here. Sifting through it's going to take some time, a bit more than what you've spent here already. You're not prevented from further investigating. There's just a lot of things to dig through. Yulvik was seemingly a bit of a pack rat. And Edward.
I'm with my buddy over here. I'm with
Yeah.
my new dad, my new best friend.
With Becky, knocking on some doors. What we going up to?
So we're going to the left side of the town, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're going.
Yeah, so wherever the claw marks are, we're going to go put
We're
our hands all
there.
over that.
We're gonna go tickle it.
Go and ask some folks that live on that side of town, or looking around for things?
Probably both. throw the child at the people because they seem to be more trusting of little Timmy.
That's just throw the child at the people.
Quite
they're not sure.
literally, pick up the child and like a spear. It's got returning, right? Or it'll come back.
I mean, you can walk.
I try to look as gaunt and like as absolutely like malnourished as possible.
Throw some dirt in
Stomach
your eyes.
in.
I look over like because I'm kind of near where Brahm is, and I'm like, did he make the child drunk in the last 5 minutes?
I don't
I
think
pick up a stick and I'm like,
he injured the child.
Right.
The kid's like 12. And he
Just
broke his
looking
leg.
over at you guys, just
Which is a weird.
I will with the stick.
the beans.
This is fully. This is an investigatory practice. He's just gathering data on the child. Don't
Highly
worry.
professional.
Gathering data on the health pool of children.
Enough to go through a window, I guess. If you're throwing them, I don't know.
This is pediatrics.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're gonna go back to talking to people.
Yeah,
throwing
I'm
children.
going to send you off to talk to people, and
All
I'm
right.
going to go investigate the claw marks
Oh, okay. Where are the people?
in the houses.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, just me then.
You'll be in sight. It's okay. You don't
right.
need to be on a leash.
Okay. Well, okay. Then I'll go to the closest house to the claw marks.
Easy enough. There's one that's just like it's got like a stone base to it, and you can see there's a couple like huge, like bigger than your hand, goes wide, just rips in the stone.
Oh. Just what? What?
Rip like solid
oh
tears
gosh.
into it through solid.
On the house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I approach the house, assuming that you're just like one house down. I kind of approach it, kind of hobble myself up, look over at you, wave, and then I'm going
Thumbs
to
up.
feebly knock on the door. Excuse me. Excuse. Please, can I come in? It's getting really dark out here. I can't find me mum.
Is this the Scrooge residence by chance?
We'll find out. Give me diplomacy, or I need if you want to try and scare them as a sick child, intimidate. Also, society.
Is a sick child intimidated?
Yeah,
I'd be
I
scared
don't know.
if a sick child showed up in my house and it's like dark at 6 p.m.
Okay, so diplomacy or intimidation?
Whichever one, or society.
Oh, let's see. Oh, hey, that's one I'm better at. Okay, come on. That's a 16 on the die, so a 30.
Good. 30. That's going to be another success. And go ahead and roll me a d8.
That is the good side.
I told you, I called it.
You're doing good so far.
I thought that was the bad side for sure.
Bad side. You've only got a couple mess
Okay.
ups there. I think it's fine.
Irrelevant.
Roll a d8.
Okay,
A
thank you,
D8.
sir.
Got to find out what you find out.
1.
A 1?
Don't use it.
No, this is my influence. I blame myself for this.
It's another 18. It's a 1 on the d8.
You're so close.
You'd hear just a older woman just sort of
score.
muttering. I'm not sure much I can help you. I think Ethel might have some food. She typically has the big cauldron for stews and whatnot when she makes them out. I think she's a witch. She might be able to help you with some medicine or something.
I'm so
I'm
sick.
not sure. I'd be careful though.
It's
I
so
heard-
cold.
Wings the other night, big ones. Sounded like they could blow the roof off of my home. Chittering like a massive cicada or something.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I'd hurry over if you. She's very nice.
Where does that? Where does Ethel live?
Towards the center of town, just beside Petter.
All right, there's a lot of claw marks on your door.
Yes, it's meant to be leaving, but well, it's hard to get as much as I need to, and well, it just kind of drones off into
Well,
her
okay,
own
then.
muttering.
I don't know if you heard me. There's claw marks on your door, and I'm kind of like tracing my finger on it.
No further response. Just sort of like rambled into just. I don't know what's. No, not that. No.
Well, gee, all right then. And then I start walking off. I'm gonna head towards Ethel's, and I kind of flag down Pecky. I'm like,
Well, I'm going to investigate the claw marks, where they came from, what caused them, how big they are, take exact measurements, do the investigator thing.
And get some data for your empiricisms. Perception, survival, or in this case, occultism also would work.
Give you a guess.
I don't want to guess.
Cultism it is.
So that is going to be a 15. Yep, 15. And occultism is an 18, so 33.
Come on. Yeah.
34.
No.
I think we win.
That side's a bit heavy now, so
Auto
it's
win.
hard to. There we go.
Yeah, it's in there.
How much did you say your occultism was?
18.
That's the number.
Yeah. Exactly. my arcana is also an 18.
That's the name of the creature.
The name of the creature.
You did critically succeed earlier, which lowers the DC by 1, which makes this another critical success, which lowers the DC by another 1. Getting some value out of this.
But only it's per individual person?
Yes, it's
Okay.
per person doing their investigations because they found some data that they have realizations for beyond everyone
Right.
else. It does have other effects that you'll find out later.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
Don't worry about it.
I'm sure
Probably
it's
a good
super
thing.
chill and cool.
Well, what
It turns
we're
out
doing is probably
the
a good
skulls
thing.
are not a good thing, and we're just dead. We're so dead.
Each one of these is 10 damage.
Edward's eviscerated. Edward is dust.
Please.
Give me a d20 roll.
You said D20?
Yes.
Come on.
12.
12. Looking through these things, the claws aren't consistent. They're a bit odd. Some are deeper than others. Some are more like punched forward. And some just look like they almost were like clubs just slammed into the stone and drug across it. This thing's form is clearly
Amorphous.
changes as it wills. And it doesn't seem to have particular claws as much as it does whatever it thinks will do the most damage at the time. All of its physical attacks are versatile. They can be bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, as it so chooses. And beyond that, kind of looking at where the claws are leading off to and where Edward is kind of being directed towards Ethel, you sort of realize just in the back of your mind, both working on this at the same time, she might be a witch, but not the magical kind. You were nearby there earlier and you didn't get any odd senses with your sight. While looking over the lamp, it was close enough nearby you would have noticed something. It seems more like the backcountry herbalist sort of witch of she knows how to take care of people that get injuries. She knows how to bind up wounds or make salves, things
So
along those lines.
We have a priest and a witch.
Not many in this town seem to have anything in the sort of magic. But while Ethel may have further information, she herself is a red herring. Relevant to your investigation.
Tell you what, I don't know that though.
That is investigator. One of their core class features that they can get is whatever they're investigating, they can find out things that are red herrings, things that will lead them down a false path.
Oh,
Sweet. So I can
as
catch up
I'm
to
waving,
you. Yep.
cheerfully walking down that false path.
I can just bring you right back over. Like, nope, useless. Don't just come back over.
There's a witch.
Not a witch.
Well,
Which
she
witch?
said it was a witch.
Which way?
But
That way.
Then come this way.
and what's Blackthorn been up to while these two were getting up to shenanigans?
We sort of abandoned our attempt to get people out of houses and ended up back at the campsite of our colleague. So I'm going to continue looking around the campsite for useful information that he left behind, because we do still have light for a little while. I've got my sunrod with me that I'm trying to help if are we at all being affected yet by this area or this full light? All right, so I'm just I'm just keeping it with me, because I'm hoping that I will be able to feel that pressure if I get lost and focused on the investigation, then that'll be like a physical reminder that time is sort of like less for us. So I'm assuming I'm just like going to do perception checks.
All right.
Around
Just looking around the camp, seeing what you
around
can
the
find here.
campsite. 10 on the die is 23.
23, and you did critically succeed earlier, so your DC is lower. That is going to be a success. Looking around Yulvik's camp here, you would first roll me a d20. See what you find.
Come on now.
12.
12. You would find another note from Yulvik that he found traces of long, thin trails of magic that had sort of manifested with that odd darkness. You've run into a lot of monsters in the past, things that conjure magical darkness to make it harder to chase them or find them or even fight them. This thing seems capable of making just a full, almost solid line of darkness, a wall of darkness as it was. Would function essentially similar, just you cannot see the other side of what is on this, a direct barrier, but you can walk through it. Additionally, looking around the camp here, you would be able to find a couple of the following items. First off, a bless from Edward.
A bless.
Bless.
Less for Edward.
From Ang
Yes!
Ang Manatee, sorry. And Blackthorn, you would find a couple of different interesting items here. Yulvik had quite a few supplies, not all of which he took with him. Not going to make you roll to identify all of these. Yulvik is pretty organized as far as organized chaos goes. He has a list of the supplies he brought with them, and you could easily comparatively overcross the time you're at his camp here. There are 2 lesser elixirs of life, healing potions that would give you a bit more fortitude as well for a time.
It's NyQuil.
It's feel good juice. It makes you hurt less. 1 moderate Bravos brew, which
You said Bravos?
Bravos
Okay.
brew. It is specifically a alchemical concoction that, when drank, makes you less susceptible to fear, but also a bit more foolish. You're a bit more headstrong in your fear, a bit more forward to charge into danger because you're less afraid.
Okay.
2 lesser cold iron blanches, which could be applied to weapons to make them effectively for a minute act as if they were made of cold iron. 2 silver sheens, which are functionally the same thing. You apply them to a weapon, and it would make that weapon count as silver for a minute. 1 cat's eye elixir, which gets you a bit better at seeing things.
My eyeball in a jar.
And
Take it back.
Replacement. Yours is still very much burning. Another sun rod.
Okay.
And then, if any of you are missing any like basic adventuring gear, bedrolls, pythons, hammers.
We are absolutely ready
I'm
to
gonna
take a
combine
nap on
all
the
those
job
bedrolls.
right
I'm gonna have
now.
the cushiest.
If there's anything you were missing that is like common adventuring gear that you'd be
Right.
able to get a hold of for less than a gold, he very likely has at least some of it here.
I don't know what a python is, but I want all of them.
What you use for hammering into walls to climb them. So you have those like metal
I got
things.
30 of those bad boys now.
Imagine a railroad tie with a hook on it you can latch onto.
I got 30 of them just jangling.
Good for climbing and also good for blocking doorways.
I sound like a large keychain.
But beyond that, that would be much of what you find at his camp. Actually, let me double check this. You said 23, right?
I think so, yes.
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 Because that's exactly the DC you needed to meet, and it was
Okay.
that because it's lowered by 1.
Okay.
Looking around here, you would notice away from the camp what looks like a small, dull metal rod that had been tossed away. 2 pieces, cleanly snapped in half.
Does it look like a sun rod?
Does not look like a sun rod.
Okay.
You've seen wands in the past. You probably don't have a lot of knowledge of what this might be without looking into it further. But you could do that with occultism,
Yeah,
arcana,
I'm gonna do an occultism
anything.
check.
Yep.
If anything needs to be,
Nat 20.
Yeah.
That's very good. Also gonna, I don't have space for these, and I only have 3 left, but it's another one on that side. I'm also tracking.
You can do it. I believe in you,
Come on.
Arcanus.
Come on.
The fear is I'm gonna knock off more.
Oh, but you won't.
Oh, my
This
champion.
is part of the tension building that we need.
Hey, that
It
one
is.
candle is dangerously low.
It'll go out
Yeah.
by itself.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought about it. It'll extinguish itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we do with my net?
It's beautiful.
you know what it is and how to use it.
Well, if it wasn't cleanly broken, you noticed 2 things. One, where this thing is at. It's not like it's been snapped in half by someone like physically bending it until it breaks. It was intentionally put down and like cleanly cut in half by something sharp.
Okay.
Looking over to where he was cutting wood, there is a chip missing out of the axe that is set into the stump. Checking over a couple of runes on this and knowing Yulvik has ways to check in, this is how he would do it over great distances very quickly. Short messages, 25 words or less. This is a destroyed wand of sending. Intentionally destroyed. He did not want word of this getting out. Having found the note earlier, because that would mean other people will start speculating on what this is. And not knowing what you're fighting because someone halfway across the world is thinking about this thing, not good. He went containment measures.
Well, how far? Well, yeah, you're right next to me.
Yeah, right by you.
These guys are doing their own thing.
Yeah, you'd all kind of like gather
yeah,
up to
okay. We can have
regroup
that
and
conversation. I suppose.
catch
I
things
heard
up in the
that.
middle of town. here.
Fiddle.
Bring it in, boys.
Clearly, he went through a lot of effort to make sure that no one heard about this. So basically, we better do a good job tonight because otherwise, people will continue not hearing about this. I feel like.
Isn't that a good thing?
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Because if we fail, we don't want other people to know about it.
well, we needed to
True
define it to kill it, and then nobody will have to know about it because it'll be dead.
Yeah, either we win or we lose, but either way, it's a win-win.
It does. It is. It does
the
lead
lose
towards.
seems a little bit more like a lose to me.
It's a lose for us. It's a win for everyone else.
Ideally, I have a long life ahead of me.
You do approximately an hour and a half
Okay,
at
well-
the minimum.
Here's here's the thing: is we don't know if other people do know about it outside of this town or not. So the best we can do to just contain it, define it as best as we can, and then just end it there. That eliminates that threat at all. There could be one guy across the world that he was scared of that could occasionally think about it. So
Very
Oh,
deliberate in his measures before he left. I am very curious to hear what he has to say when this is all over.
let's go over what we know about it, so we can kind of get moving on this defining thing. And I also want to. I have an ability again. I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. It is what is it called? It's a big thing. Oh, I have Battle Planner, which is supposed to be I can scout any enemy's position or retrieve a detailed report from an ally. If you have a clear number, position, identities of foes, you can spend a minute to come up with a battle plan. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this off the thing.
You're good.
Battle plan that takes such potential factors into account. I roll a warfare lore check. As long as the information was accurate and remains accurate, I can use that roll as my initiative. Against
if you want
these
to go
enemies.
ahead, you can go ahead and roll that warfare lore, and that essentially means anyone can, if your initiative, you can choose to roll your initiative or take what he gets.
Oh.
You have to determine that before you.
because he
roll, though.
pulled out like a bullet journal, or
because I know the enemy, so I'm just like, all right, here's the plan.
He
Very
knows
cool.
a lot of what it's capable of,
Hey.
and he's done a lot of monster hunting.
What did you get?
I got a 15 on the die.
Real nice. So what is
So-
that total? So 15
Plus 14 plus 2 because of my other ability. So 17 plus 15 is 32.
32. All right, so you can either, when initiative starts, you can choose, if it happens in the next minute, to take the 32 or roll your own check, which will be with perception.
Right.
Presumably, unless you're starting to like hide and make other decisions. which, getting a chance to group up here and go over what you've found, the light's getting much closer to the center of town than you thought. You figured you'd have a little bit longer than this before it was on the final ring of homes only. But you see over about the southwest corner where the homes are at in the big circle, you see those same eyes that you saw just peering in a lot closer than you thought they would be. This thing is at least twice as tall as most of you. Just a cloud of shadow with gleaming emerald eyes, two set in the middle, and a third opening between them, horizontally. Can't make out a lot of its shape, but it lets out just a enormous screech. And you see this thing about to lunge off the house towards all of you, and more importantly, towards the lantern at the center of town.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
32?
take the
Yeah,
32.
32.
I was going to take the 32, but fine.
Do we not? Does only one
I
of us
think we
get to
all
take
get-
it?
Does everyone take it or just one of us take it?
Anyone can take it.
But it's
So
only
we all
one
take it.
person. Everyone can. Everyone.
All of
Everyone
one
versus
can take it.
anyone.
Yeah, one person can take it.
One
Oh.
person. Can
One person
I
can
thought that was everybody. Well, then you take it.
Youngest
I've been
goes
not rolling
first.
well, please. Okay.
Traditionally, youngest goes
So-
first in most board game scenarios.
Have you seen how I've been rolling?
So Everett's going to go first. There should be a light sound set in there for battle.
All right, you can have it.
And
Thank
who's
you
going
so
to
much.
roll our perception first?
I'll start. I got. Is that a 7? That's a 7. Okay. A 20.
Alrighty. 20 for Blackthorn.
I got a 33.
Oh, man. Dude, that's my moment.
Can't let him have it.
What do you add for initiative?
Perception.
Excellent. So that's a 7 on the die. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right. And the monster going to get a 26.
Oh.
Putting him dead in the center, everybody here.
Dead in the center. Dead in the
see.
center.
Yeah,
He's gonna be
you already
dead in the
said it.
center.
Rude.
He said it. He said it.
We'll see how it goes. You all know a lot of things this thing's got. And you can still see that crossbow bolt sticking out of it. Wound closed around. Just a bolt lodged in it.
That's mine. Everyone see, I did shoot it. I don't want to hear anything else.
We're the ones who told you that you shot it.
All right, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Packy, what we doing here? Because this thing getting ready to dive in.
I am going. Those are benches around us.
Yes, they're small, like
Okay.
maybe 6-inch high benches just for sitting on.
I'm
They're
going
not
to
crazy.
move left over to be in front of the bench, directly between green and red. So I just want to be 5 feet in front of it.
He's red. You are red.
Okay. Then I'm just going to move 15 feet diagonal bottom left to
Like
right
in
there.
front of Brom.
Yep. So I'm within 20 feet of the creature.
Yep.
And then I'm going to devise a stratagem, and I'm going to key in Blackthorn. It is flat-footed to you.
Okay.
And then I'm going to chuck my spear at this thing, because I'm assuming we wouldn't be walking around without our stuff.
You know a monster's somewhere nearby. You probably got your weapons at the ready.
20 feet is my first range increment, so no penalties.
Yep.
But devising a stratagem is a roll before that.
Get to see what you're gonna do as an investigator.
Yep. So that is a 23, and I need to double check.
So you can either take the 23, or if you want to do something else, since devising a stratagem, you know what your first roll will be to attack.
Yes.
So you can choose to do something else instead of attacking, but if you attack this turn, that is your first roll.
Yeah. Shared stratagem requires that I hit. So instead, I will recall knowledge and try and figure out more about it now that I can see it.
This thing, you know what you're looking for. This is going to be occultism.
Mm-hmm.
The longer you are exposed to this thing by fighting it, the more defined it will be. This check is incredibly high to begin with, but every turn it will go lower. And because you know what you're looking for, instead of reducing by 1, it reduces by 2.
Alrighty. And to go with that, I have dubious knowledge.
One wrong
Always a
thing,
fun
right
one.
thing.
And I have thorough research, which, when recalling knowledge, you learn an additional fact about the subject, and when you critically succeed, you gain even more based on context, your discretion. So I have 2 things that give me a whole bunch of information.
You're going to get some wrong stuff and some right stuff,
Yes.
probably.
So using occultism, and that will be a 27.
27. This thing,
With an 8 on the die.
you know that this is it's a monstrosity. This thing doesn't have a physical form, yet you're going to be able to hit it just as well with an axe as you would with any spells. It is, as you've discovered, based in fear and the dark. It is wholly immune to fear. This thing has a mind, but it cannot be afraid. Additionally, darkness might work on it. Probably not. But it just hunts in the dark. It just might be what it's used to. Might not be immune to it. Additionally, you yourself, as you sort of study this thing, all of you can see below where those eyes are on this creature a slobbering, massive jaw of what looks like a full basset hound just snap open and let out a bark, staring down at Pecky.
Do I have to make a save or anything?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably cannot physically move, but probably would try to shy back behind the bench at that.
Take cover.
Take cover.
All right. And that's move, recall, and take cover. So that's going to be 3.
Devise a stratagem is an action. I can't actually take cover.
Okay.
Like trying to,
Yeah.
but cannot.
Going to bring us
Very clearly
Brom.
startled.
All right. How
So
many?
it is flat-footed to me, though.
I did not hit it, so it is not flat.
It's not flat. Okay.
If he hits, it will be.
Yes. If I devise a stratagem, I designate someone, and when I hit it, it's
So
flat-footed
it will
to them.
be, but it will be flat-footed to me eventually.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I mean.
Just easier to hit.
Brom.
Okay.
Okay. Produce flame. What's the range on that?
30 feet.
30 feet. Is he within 30 feet of me?
You are within 30 feet, yes.
Okay. I would like to produce flame on him using. I have a dragon's eyes charm. So I just pull the cloak open and just kind of show it out like this. And I make a spell attack roll plus 13 to hit it. 9 plus 13, so 22 to hit.
You see this bolt of flame just kind of having to react quickly, turn around, rip this thing off, and shine it out to fire the bolt of flame at this thing. You know there's people inside these houses and have to aim high to try and not catch the roof on fire. It just sails right past this thing.
Well, that was a one-a-day thing, so it's fine. And then I'm gonna pull out the crossbow and just shoot at that again.
All right. This is a second attack roll, so you will be at a -5.
Mine's 5. Dang. Okay.
I believe.
Come on now.
Just not gonna hit it. 8 on the die. -5 is 3 plus 19 is 22. So
Yeah, it's going to be just another sail right past, trying to turn around and blast off 2 shots real quick.
all right. I'm gonna just move in front of the bench and have my sword out. So I'm the first line of defense.
It would be an action to draw the sword from the crossbow.
Oh, would it?
Yes, drawing the weapon is a...
No, that would have been all 3, because spell, attack, draw, crossbow, shoot. Unless you have quick draw.
He would have had the crossbow out already.
I don't think I have quick
That's
draw.
fine.
Well, then, yeah, so you could move or draw the sword.
Yeah.
I'll draw the sword then instead.
Alrighty. And then it's going to be this thing's turn.
I can take a hit.
It immediately leaps down off this building and just waves a hand out. The entire area around Brom and Pecky, about centered between you two, 20 feet in both directions, a massive sphere of darkness appears. It is directly in front of where Pecky was standing, and the rest of that area is darkness. Edward would be caught right at the edge of it. You would know, like, where this is bursting out from. Heading out to the right would put you outside of it. Blackthorn, you would be just on the edge of it and cannot see inside.
So they are now encapsulated in darkness, and
Yes.
I am outside of that.
Yes, you are,
that wall of
like, right
darkness.
on the edge of it.
Okay.
We are, right? Or I'm on the edge inside.
You're on the edge inside, she's on the edge outside.
No.
Well, sorry. But that is its whole turn, is moving up and casting
Okay.
that ability. That brings us to Blackthorn.
If I'm grabbing something out of my bag and they are the same size, can I do that in a single action?
Same size as...
I have more sunrads in my bag. If I reach in, can I just grab several of them at the same time, or do they count as an action per item that I take out of my bag? Because I'm assuming I'm not holding them right now.
I would assume you're not holding them. I would say an action per one you want to pull out, and I will let you activate them all as just smacking them all at
Okay,
once.
so I do, okay. I have the one I have currently,
Which is still lit.
which is still lit. It will be lit forever, or at least for today.
For the rest of your existence.
Yeah. I do have the other one. I haven't lit that one yet. I was thinking about it, but didn't have the opportunity to. So like that one probably just in my hand with the other one, like a lit one and unlit one. I'm like ready to throw a rave over here, you guys. I just got the glow sticks. So I am going to go into my bag, and I am going to take out. Let me make sure that I have the right count on these. Yes, I'm going to take out 2 more sun rods, which is now
3 total.
There's three, and there's one I have, but that is 2 actions.
Yep.
And my third action, I'm just gonna like whack the whole thing into the ground. So now I have 4 lit sun rods.
All right. Got
Sick.
some many lights over here. Gonna bring us to Edward, just on the edge of darkness.
I'd like to come out.
You'd be able, like where this was expanding to. If you move like 5 feet to the right, you will be outside the sphere.
Okay.
You still won't be able to see into it, but you can see, like.
Can
where
I
it is
see
at.
when I'm within it right
No.
now? Oh,
It is
okay. Okay,
darkness.
I understand.
If you
Yeah.
had greater dark vision, yes, but standard dark vision would
Couldn't
not
be
work
me.
on this.
I'm a little human lad. Being like suddenly sheathed in the darkness, Edward kind of feels his way piercing through the kind of curtain, coming out into the light. Can I tell at all? Is this a targetable construct, or is it just like an effect?
The sphere of darkness?
Yes.
It is a magical effect. It has been it's a spell that was put into effect here. It could be dispelled or counteracted by certain means.
Gotcha. Okay. It's not like a little amoeba.
No,
Okay.
it's not a creature.
All right. Then I would like to. I'm kind of rubbing my little rock around in my hand and then looking over at him.
He is inside the sphere, so you cannot see him right now.
He is?
Yes.
Oh.
It expands out 20 feet.
Oh my gosh.
I just like sort of wave my handful of sun rods at you. I don't have any actions, but you can come over here and take one if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there.
So we'll just say that that's the one move action of getting out and going over. To
Awesome. Can I take that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So you take a sun rod from me.
I'm gonna kind of look at it and be like, hold on. And I want to try and walk inside the sphere with it. Just kind of curious.
You would just not even have to walk in, so you're not burning movement. You just kind of set it inside because you're right on the edge, and you can tell that the sun rod dims immediately as it enters.
Never mind. I'm putting it in my pocket.
Does it dim, like turn out? Like it cannot, it's completely
It would
impenetrable?
still be turned, like you could still tell it's on, but the light is like within an inch of the rod. It's being suppressed.
Okay, I see.
Oh, man. And so I have absolutely no sights on the thing.
Not currently.
Okay.
Where it is currently at, Brahm and Pecky would be in complete darkness. Brahm, not exactly uncomfortable here, having blind fight. Just as soon as you know this thing's near, you could probably still get a hit in.
I can smell it. I can smell it a mile away.
Okay. Feel free to tell me no, but I don't believe this spell says I have to see the creature.
What spell?
Agonizing Despair.
I believe I actually have that one over here, if I can find where I put it. Because I do have that one.
You're psychic.
Thinking at it really
Dude, I'm ready.
Think about a migraine and just sending it his way.
You would need a target, so you would need to be able to see it.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay, is it possible to hold my action until he becomes visible to me?
Yeah,
like, can I prepare agonizing?
Yeah, you could hold. You'd have 2 actions left, but you could hold those remaining actions. 'Cause
Okay.
you had to move, so.
Awesome. So I will. Edward kind of crouches next to the lantern, keeping his eye on the bubble, incredibly focused. And as he kind of like focuses in there, he just slowly closes his eyes and prepares.
Alrighty. Brings us back to Pecky, who is now in complete darkness with this thing very close by.
I have blind fight too.
Hey, we're the guys for this job.
The problem is everything that I do revolves around me spending an action, so I can't ready an action.
I do have reactions, so if he gets close, so I can attack of opportunity it.
I'm thinking that I'm going to devise a stratagem,
Alright.
and I'm going to clue Brahm in on it
Thank you.
Alright.
before 5 foot stepping forward, if depending on how this stratagem works, and using it.
Alright. What we got?
And that is a 15, so 15 plus 17, 32.
That would definitely hit this thing.
Yeah, so I know that that'll hit. I can sense what this thing's going to do.
With
At 5
blind
foot
fight?
step in, I have to make a DC 5 flat check.
Not 15.
Yes. But I know that if I step in and I thrust and bring it up and to the right, I'll catch it right in that disgusting dog jaw that it manifested.
Is it considered concealed or hidden?
It is currently hidden.
That is a 1.
Where else?
So that's just on the flat check.
That's a failure.
Yes, that is a failure.
So you would have gotten a clean hit, but something just
Something
miscalculating
happened.
like an inch off swipes up as it barks out, and your hand just kind of twitches back instinctually.
It barked. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Barked and froze me up mid-attack, like cringing back into myself.
But that's move up, swing, devise. All right, so that's going to be 3. Actually, you're going to go back to your...
Or you can keep me up there. I'll go again.
I mean, I was going to put you over on hold with Edward whenever he decides to go here, so... Brahm,
Oh, man.
you hear Pecky kind of rush forward in this
man.
blind space.
All right, Brahms also, he has a sword out now from his last turn. He's going to walk up and try to find it too.
You would know roughly where I am. Because
Yeah.
I would have been sharing my strategy with you.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to get there, even in darkness, you only move as if it's difficult terrain, so it would be 20 feet of movement, which you certainly have.
Sweet. So I'm going to swing at it with a sword.
All right, flat check first.
Flat check first.
Just D20, got to get a 5 or higher.
7.
That's going to got flat check. Let's see
Now
if
I
you
gotta
get it.
just hit the thing.
Yeah.
I get to do it backwards. I get to see if I'll hit it and then do a flat check.
Yeah, because devise is weird.
Can I actually do my power attack to use 2 actions to try
Yeah,
to
sure.
hit it even harder? Sick. I hit it.
You have to move up, give it a big old swing.
13 on the die plus 19 is what? 27? 37? I don't know the math.
19.
13 and 19 is
13.
the same as 20 and 12, so 32.
32. Does that one hit?
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Thank God.
Give me some damage.
So that's 3d12, right?
Power attack will give you an extra damage die, yes.
Yes,
so
there's
instead of 2, it'll be
3d12.
3.
12, a 12, and a 12.
Big old sword smack.
Come on now.
Big boy here.
Give him the hurts.
11, 10, so like
Hey!
31 damage.
That's a big old chunk
There
of
we
damage
go.
here.
Finally. Something. So he just, in complete darkness, just swings down and just cleaves it down and just feels it lock into it, however way, and then slowly pulls it out.
It's a solid swing in. While Pecky is a bit off-put by this sudden bark, you can't see anything around you. You have no reference points. There's nothing you could fall from that you can see.
It's cool. As long as I don't fall, it's fine. As long as I'm on solid ground and not anywhere above that, it's fine.
You can feel ground below. You can't see it, but you know it's there. So you're good for now.
I'm cool. We're cool. Everybody's cool.
That's going to be this thing's turn, which is going to, with both of you directly in front of it, just going to first bring a jaw bite down, seeming having no issues seeing in this darkness, straight towards Pecky. Going to be a bite attack on you.
And I'm not flat-footed.
You are not, because blind fight is really good. That's going to be... What's your AC?
That's probably a crit. It's 26. If you're asking me what's your AC.
Not a crit. Not a crit. Close, but not a crit. So that's going to be a big old chomp. And I need to find me...
Can I? How does attack of opportunity work? Can I do that when it's attacking?
Not when
Like
it's
that?
attacking. When it moves,
You wouldn't
cast
be
a
able to
spell,
see it move.
manipulate. Yeah. With
Oh, even
blind
with
fight,
blind
I
fight,
give
I
them a
couldn't?
chance,
Okay.
but it hasn't taken an action that would trigger it. Just
Okay.
attacking wouldn't trigger it. There's an action called step, which is you move 5 feet as a whole action that doesn't trigger reactions, but it's not doing that.
Cool.
So that's going to be 25 damage. On the
Could have
bite
been
attack.
much worse.
And you feel its jaws clamp onto your shoulder, not letting go. You are grabbed.
Oh no.
And then one of its claws, just darting out of the dark, is going to aim to just knock Brahm off his feet. A trip attempt.
Sick. Do I do something?
It rolls against your reflex DC, so 10 plus your reflex save.
25.
Misses. Just misses on that second attack
Let's
roll.
go, Brom. Sturdy boy.
You feel this thing go to catch and just... You get a sense of what this thing's trying to do. You got a good swing on it. You know how this thing's fighting. Just as it goes to sweep, quick hop up off the ground, land back down on solid ground, ready to fight.
Sweet. Yes.
Third action, gonna be another claw attack on you.
Rude.
Lowest attack
Realizes it
modifier,
can't
so
trip you.
let's see. 10, 24 does not hit your AC.
Does not hit.
Yeah. It's trying, but this thing's...
Brom is bobbing and weaving. He's a big guy, but he's
Turns out when you send
fluid.
monster hunters to fight a monster.
I know. He knows what to do.
Well, that's going to be its turn.
You know what's nice about it biting me and holding on? I know exactly where the head is.
True. Brings us back to Blackthorn, or if you would want to jump in at any time, you are feel free.
Am I? May I? It did not come out.
It did
I
not come
cannot
out.
see it.
It had people come to it.
Okay. So can I still jump? I said I was preparing if I saw it. So.
Yeah, that would... Ready to action, I play a bit more loosely than
Oh,
base
excellent.
Pathfinder. So.
Oh, cool. Then I will take my 2 actions for me. Edward's kind of sitting there, like, really, like, squinting, focusing, and after a second, he's like, okay, so it's not coming out. And then I would like to try and cast light on myself. And kind of frustratingly, he's like, well, all right. And then he kind of zoops, and then he's glowing. He kind of rolls up his sleeves, and he prepares to charge in.
With the sun rod in hand.
And he's
Gonna
like,
beat
well,
it with-
fine, then I'll
Beat it with the glowing stick. Going in, go ahead and give me a spell attack roll.
Oh, okay. I would love to. another 7 on the die, but my attack, so that's I'm going to do some accounting. Hold on. 23.
You would go to march in. You feel this light spell try to press back against the dark, but immediately gets suppressed. It's still active, but it's not going to function in the dark.
Do I get the feeling that if I got a running start, I might have better luck?
On having the dark not affected, or
Getting in there?
on getting to it, that's just like a straight, you're just running straight in a line. Once you get close to it, you're going to run into it, but...
Like I could maybe pierce through? You could say no. It's cool.
I mean, I'm trying to get... I get the idea. I'm going to say no on that one, just
Okay.
because I'm trying to give you a
It's
break on the
entirely
light.
fair.
But they're going to take you back down
Yes.
here
I'll wait for my new turn.
and bring us to Blackthorn.
All right, so Sunrod's still in hand, and I've got my Kopesh in the other hand. I'm going to go into a rage, but it's not like a crazy slobbering like wild rage. It almost looks like I turn into like sleepwalking, and so like I have like sort of a distant vision, and like I'm not fully there. And I'm just going to take the other 2 turns to walk up behind it to flank it. And I do have supernatural senses and things like that. Like my scent is good enough that I can either, if there's no space, I can walk around the darkness, or I can likely walk just through the darkness and be able to avoid it, because
you'd be
I
able
can
to
smell things within 30 feet. I'm going to be able to tell it's like 5 feet within me. I'm
You'd
gonna
find
stay
your
out of
way
range.
there. It's a weird scent to follow. It's familiar and doesn't belong here. It's that musty, heavy, kind of wet, muddy air mixed with fresh growing plant life. We'd be able to get to it pretty easily.
I don't know how big those squares are. My speed is 25 feet, so I'm assuming it took me 2 turns to get there.
It would take you 2 actions, and then 1 to
that's
rage.
Right, exactly. So
So
there's
that'd be all 3.
okay.
But flanking now, Brahm, you would be able to benefit from flanking, which means it will have a -2 to its AC.
Sweet.
Same thing for Blackthorn. If you move from where you are at, that would stop being a thing. You had to make a straight line through the creature
Gotcha.
from one player to another. But that brings us back to Pecky, who currently has a pretty much as close to rabid without being rabid dog biting onto their shoulder.
So, I forgot, because it's been so long since I used a shield that I even had one.
Yeah, you gotta put it up.
Yeah, got to put it up and use it, but I'm going to raise my shield.
All right.
And just trying to like cram it in there and get this thing off of me. Not making any athletics checks to break it, but devising a stratagem to try and, now that I know exactly where it is, just kind of underhanded throw my spear at its underbelly and catch it where it's not expecting it.
Alrighty.
So, devise a stratagem, raise shield.
See what you get.
A 3, so that will be a 20.
Well, you can either try and hit it with a 20 or do something else.
I think I'm going to do something else.
Alrighty.
I'm going to recall knowledge.
All right. Cultism on this bad boy.
It's a 21.
21. Not getting anything further. I mean, this thing's got you a bit on edge. It manifested
Struggling.
a massive dog jaw that is currently still biting into your shoulder.
The dice are definitely showing that right now Pecky is,
Not doing great.
yeah, he's a little panicky.
Gonna need some hot cocoa after this little nap. But that's going to be 2 actions, I believe, so far. You got 1 left.
That's
'cause
3.
Raise shield.
Raise shield, devise recall.
All right. I keep forgetting the device is still an action.
Recall again as a free action.
True. That's the thing I keep forgetting this Mescare has. So go ahead.
Once per 10 minutes.
And as a note, normally recalling knowledge, you would only get 1 benefit of as identifying it unless you get a critical success. Because you're trying to figure out about this thing and name it,
That's why I keep doing it.
you have to keep doing it.
Much better.
Hey.
19
Total?
on the
Not
die.
the die.
Oh, that's great. That's way
Total?
much better. 19.
So
actively
that's a
worse.
38.
Come on.
38. Ooh. That is
And I have thorough researcher and dubious knowledge.
Dubious.
So you got a good bit of info on this thing already. But the more important things that I'll give you is if you are frightened, this thing knows precisely where you are and can hunt you down. It can modify its body to the shapes of your fears and instill those deeply within your mind to cause essentially a forced panic. And additionally, you have a brief realization of this thing. Having its face is in your face. It is biting onto your shoulder, locked eyes with you. This thing is, even in the dark, it's manifested your fear pretty solidly. And getting a good look at this thing, you're pretty sure you can name it.
What?
We have a name already.
The base DC at the start of this combat
40.
is 33.
Oh my gosh, you blew that out of the water, dude.
Show
Are you
Been-
serious?
Yes, it starts at 33, which for most people you need a nat 20 to get a success. This has been lowered by 2 because of your critical successes through the investigation phase.
Perfect.
And further, this is round 3 of combat. Because of the note Blackthorn found, and you know what you're looking for to beat this thing, hasn't gone down by 2, it's gone down by 4.
Oh my god.
So that's not a success. That
That's
is
a critical success. Dude.
Nice.
You will not be
Panic.
affected by this thing's fear effects.
Will not be.
You will not be.
Because I
That is
know
the
it's.
benefit for getting an impossible critical success.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'll take it.
But we
are
can
still
come
being
back
eaten.
to you
Yeah.
on this because, Becky, you get to name the monster.
Right now.
Now, or we can come back at the start of your next turn. and you can
Stinky
determine
Steven,
what it
he
is.
already knows.
I used everything and an extra bonus action. I'll do it on my next turn.
All right. We'll give you some time to mull it over.
I'm not
what
going to
you
name
wanna
it Stinky Stinky.
Come on. I didn't say Stinky Steven, I said Stinky Steven.
But
Name it Big Old Dummy. Name it I'm Not Scary at All.
in addition to this naming that you've discovered as your critical success, because it's investigator, you get some nifty stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read you directly what this ability is called and
All
what
right.
it does. Unknown, undefined, unnamed. While this creature remains unnamed, it cannot be killed. When it would be reduced below 1 HP, it instead remains at 1 HP and becomes slowed 1. An attempt to name this creature may be made with a DC 33 occultism check or relevant lore skill. It is literally unkillable if you do not name it.
That's
You can
super
still
cool
wait.
because we
We're not,
can
it's
name
not,
it.
It's not close to 1 HP.
I mean, yeah, we can still.
we can
It only
like,
heals itself a little bit each round, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Right.
It's got good, like 31 damage ain't nothing to.
No.
That's a big swing.
I
Vegas
do.
said it's like is in the middle of like dog jaws right now. It's a little hard to think about names while you're
I think I'll
being
name it
chewed
the
on dog.
Fearmonger.
Yeah, fearmonger.
It's all it knows how to do.
This is true. Fearmonger. Yeah, that works. That works pretty well. Brahm, we got a pretty meaty hit in here.
Okay. Did I hear him name it, or do I?
Yeah, I would imagine while it's biting on me, I would be like, none of this is real, and shout out just, this thing's called a fearmonger. It's fake. It's just using our fears against us.
Got it. Okay, not real. Named now. Fearmonger. Okay, so it's big. If I did a thing that had a cone effect,
It would still only hit it once.
Oh no! But I mean, would it hit? I forget your character's name immediately. I'm sorry.
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn. I had stage fright. I'm sorry.
Do what I do
wrote
and
them
cheat.
all
Write them down.
immediately. Would Blackthorn get hit by it, even though she's blocked or he's blocked from
Yes,
it?
they're cone effects or hit everything. I give her cover, so if she gets a save, she get a +2.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
she would have to make a roll against whatever it is.
Yeah, because what I'm gonna do is I just go, got it, big hit time, and I'm gonna stick up my right foot, and I'm gonna activate my blast foot, which deals 4d6 force damage to all creatures in a 15-foot cone. So it's kind of hitting you guys too. Sorry.
It won't hit me.
With a basic reflex save.
Yeah, it would. The only way you're going to be able to hit it from where you're at, it's still going to hit Blackthorn, but you could avoid hitting Pecky.
All right, I'll avoid hitting. Yeah. So only I'll.
So
hit
no
my-
reflex save.
Yes.
You can fire the cone up.
It's to hit the majority of it. You're going to have to
Yeah.
go forward.
Yeah.
24.
So DC 15 reflex save.
DC 15.
Or no, wait, a basic. It just says a basic reflex save. It doesn't say the
It
DC.
should have a DC to it for the item.
It doesn't.
What level is the item?
Level 6.
I will see, because I know what this item is.
Yeah.
It's called a Blast Foot for those curious.
Blast foot is level 6, and it's force damage.
Yeah, it turns out when you've been a monster hunter a while, your leg gets beat up a little bit, so you've got some braces on your leg.
You gotta
That-
upgrade your equipment, and your equipment being your body.
Those
yeah,
hills are.
sometimes it's difficult to hunt when you just got, a prosthetic or kind of like brace to keep your leg steady. Pathfinder iconic for thaumaturges, monster hunters. Mios also has, I don't think he has exactly a blast foot, but he
Sick.
does have a brace. The blast foot
It's just like me for real.
doesn't, it doesn't say
It just-
what
it-
the base save is. It just says save, and it doesn't give a DC. So I'm going to say
What's
it's your
your
class DC.
You say what, DC?
Your class DC.
What's my class DC?
Should be-
24.
All right, so you succeeded. You're going to take half damage.
Okay.
It rolled a 2 and also succeeded. Oh, no, because its saves are lower.
Yes.
It failed.
Come
Having
on!
figured that out, its saves are lower.
Yeah, we gotta do the damage.
Oh, I gotta roll, what was it? 4d6.
Yep, 46.
I'm gonna need a couple d6 here real quick.
And this is force damage, so it's
Yes.
pretty much going to be unresistible.
Okay.
I think there's like 2 things in all
Can I
of
get
the
one more
Beastery
d6
that
from you
have-
guys?
You have to roll these separately. They're gem dice.
Oh, okay.
Like you can roll those,
Here,
but then
roll my little
yeah, roll the
bliss.
tiny boy.
Roll my bliss.
We got some tiny dice.
Yep. No, I'm so sorry.
What is that? 5, 8, 9 force damage in total.
Yeah, it's damage is damage.
And I go, that wasn't as
True
meaty as I
words
You're
wanted.
going to take
Spoken.
only 5 of that.
Was it?
Blackthorn.
Is it round down?
Yeah.
Half a
it's
round down?
half round up.
Oh, half round up.
So
Oh,
9
okay.
divided by 2.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Everything rounds up.
Yeah.
I see.
All right.
But it's going to take the full 9.
That's something.
That's only one action, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's 2 actions
It's
to
two?
use that
Okay.
ability. I'm just gonna swing at it again and take a -5 to swing.
That doesn't have the attack trait, so you're not taking a -5.
Yes.
Giving it another smack.
This is awesome.
You level your foot, blast this thing, and then bring the sword down with it.
Remember, before you waste a 20, flat check first.
Yes.
Flat check. 7 again.
Yeah.
There's been so many
beats
times that we've rolled
Blind
a
fight
crit
getting some
and then
value.
failed the
Failed.
flat check.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, you never want to roll a nat 20 and then be like, oh, wait,
Oh.
flat check.
That's a nat 20.
There you go.
Finally!
So you are
Okay.
going to roll. This is just a standard attack. 4d12
4d12 and
plus double your normal damage.
what's the normal damage?
So what do you add to your attacks?
I add things to my attacks.
Yeah.
2d12
Strength?
plus. It should
What's
have a
the plus to your
beside it.
attack?
The axe.
19?
The number in the axe, I think.
The number in the axe is a 19.
No, that's it. No.
3 and 4 is 7.
7. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't add the 7 last time.
I will add the 7 on then. Cool.
Hey,
thanks.
little
so we're
bonus.
We're going to add
4d12 plus 7.
14.
Plus 14.
Yes.
I'm going to need this calculator.
Big old chunk.
I'm going to need another d12.
If you just want to go ahead and roll, I can go ahead and punch stuff in.
Okay, cool. So
You got it all?
it's 4d12. So it's more high
Come
numbers.
on.
27 on the d12 plus the 14. And then on a crit, they're flat-footed until the start of my next turn.
Yeah.
So 41
Even in
damage.
the dark, this thing is
41
crit.
damage.
Yep, it's not doing good. It is still flat-footed to you on that attack, so that's a big old crit.
Yeah.
Come on.
But that's going to be all 3 actions from you, and this thing is not doing great. It heals up a little bit, but
It still
I mean,
has me in
it's
its
got
jaw.
big old chops. coming down on this thing from the sword.
I spit on it too.
It's gets a little bit angry at that, just howling out.
Nasty.
This thing is just going to let go of Pecky and just full claws bear down on Brahm.
That's fine.
So
See if I care, because I don't.
first attack gonna be a 25.
That doesn't hit.
This thing is not rolling well on its attack roll. They rolled one spell on you.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
That well was almost a crit on me.
3 into a 3.
Okay.
So it's even. It's 4 lower than that. So like a 20. Like
It got a name and now it's panicking.
Yeah.
It's freaked out.
Oh no, the protagonists are here. There's the 15 on the -8.
Sweet.
So that's going to be 21.
That does not hit.
It's just going wild at this point. Like you are in its element, not reacting the way it's expecting, beating the heck out of it. It's not going.
I picture Brahm just completely straight faced too, like no sign of fear whatsoever, just dodging
If
out
you
of it.
can't see the
fetchling.
fall, there's nothing to fear.
Exactly.
You're a fetchling.
I have not moved from this 5-foot square that I know is
You know where
I'm
it's
like,
at.
I'm fine.
It's just going wild at this point, and you're a fetchling. You're from the shadow plane.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you know that it's just.
I've never
dark.
felt more at home than I have at this
Yeah,
moment.
it's probably fine. That's going to bring its turn around over to Edward.
That's me. Still trying to figure out where the guy is, but then seeing Blackthorn walk around the edge, that he knows where it is. That she's Edward's gonna follow and go park himself right next to Blackthorn, and then I would like to use my remaining 2 actions as I kind of. As I pull the rock out of my pocket again and say, okay, I'm gonna like rub this or something. Not really sure, but I'm gonna try and just hold tight for a second. I'm gonna use the rock. Hold it out.
So we gonna moonbeam this thing.
Yes.
Pew. Go ahead and roll me 4d6.
Oh, okay.
This thing, it slaps a good bit.
4d6. Do we really not have a... Okay.
The little boy, remember?
The little boy. Come on now. All right. 8, 9, 11. Do I add something to this?
No, normally this would be a spell attack roll. It's also a focus spell.
Oh.
Since you're using it from an item, it doesn't have a cost.
Oh.
And it's just hitting because I'm saying it is.
Excellent. I like that.
I definitely didn't make this item and realize, oh, this is a spell attack roll. Oh well, no, it's just hitting now. But that's going to be, how much damage did you say?
11.
11 damage.
Light.
Getting some
The
big
moon.
old blast, and give me a spell attack roll, but not for hitting it.
Okay.
For something else.
Spell attack roll with this. Okay. All right, that's a 6 on the die. So, plus 16, 32.
6 on the die
6 on the
plus-
die to a 32.
Never mind. No,
6
that's
on the die,
incorrect.
22.
I want the calculator
22.
back, please. Thank you. Yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
22,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
We're not
This
level
stays
18.
with me.
You all would see this just through the darkness, just a brief blast of light slam into this thing hissing out and screeching as part of it burns off. But it quickly fades away. But looking where this thing is at in the dark is like watching you all move now. You can just make it out in this moonlight as it starts to fade. It's disoriented. It is going to be essentially making the same flat check you two are with blind fight in order to hit the next turn.
As the giant burst of light comes down, if the camera were to be far panned out to capture the full beam coming down, you'd hear a quiet, "Oh, that's awesome!" And I believe that's all my actions, sir.
Yeah, that would be all of them. We'll be back over to Blackthorn here, who is flanking. This thing is definitely flat-footed for more than one reason.
So I am going to use
Brute force.
my instinctive strike. I don't need to see anything. It does take 2 actions, but I'm just going to be able to hit it no
Yep.
matter what.
No flat check needed.
Nice.
And I'm going to take my Kopesh and I'm just going to swing it like just straight across to hit it like as hard as possible and like
You got a big target,
yeah,
big swing in space.
that's right.
And you have flanking too.
Yep. That one.
I can rely on my instincts.
Drop your sword. Crap.
I can rely on my instincts. Oh no, a bright light.
I was distracted by the moonbeam.
Is that the moon?
That is, of course, unfortunately.
I do
going to
have,
miss.
I was going to miss. Yeah.
Unfortunately. So I got one action
I
left.
do have 1 action left. What I am going to do is I'm then going to I'm going to reach up and I'm going to pull a little wooden knife off of my necklace, and as I'm holding it, it's going to start turning into just a regular steel bladed knife.
All right.
That's my action.
All right.
I'm just gonna
I don't know what that is, but sounds neat.
yeah.
Go and bring us back around to Pecky, who has no longer got a
Sorry,
giant
but that
dog
hit you.
mouth on him.
I'm sorry for your loss, dude.
I remember something interesting that was said earlier.
That is.
It's now weak to silver.
It is.
I'm going to take one of those silver sheens and I'm going to apply it to his weapon.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
That will-
I'd say it's going to take 2 actions. One to get.
I'm
it
going to
out,
say
one
that's my
apply it.
full turn because that's all I need to do.
That's sure. You got 1 action left. I'll give you it.
Raise shield.
Okay. Don't want to. You already
Brace
got
for
bit pretty
impact.
hard.
Brace
That's
for
fair.
impact.
Well, it requires me to take 2 actions to properly attack, so
Yeah. So, Brahm, you just in the dark just
you
see
just
this-
feel like paws on you,
Yeah.
and then you hear glug, glug, glug,
Still-
glug.
Oh wait! Did you make muffins on Brawl?
Exactly.
silver muffins.
What? What? There's just
Silver
somebody
muffins.
rubbing my sword.
Exactly.
Let me
I'm like,
touch
okay.
it. Trying to knock the sword off the table.
Stop.
But your sword is now silver, and as this moonbeam has hit it, it will have a weakness to silver.
Sweet.
Meaning you are dealing additional damage every swing.
Sweet. Gonna swing at it again.
Give it the smack.
That's a 2 plus 19 to
that's
hit.
flat check, because you're still blind fighted.
Oh, right. All
So
right.
that's just 1 attack misses.
Okay.
So for my second attack, does that make take the -5 too?
Yes.
Dang.
Wait, you still got a flat check first.
Flat check.
Come on, man.
18.
Yes.
So,
So this second one,
It's a -5.
I'm gonna hit with the big. Use my
Big
rest
power
of the
attack.
action to
Okay.
power attack it.
alrighty.
Swing it down.
Let's see.
Hit
See
him
what we hit
hard.
it.
8. Well, 8 plus 19 to hit is 22, and it's flat-footed, right?
It is flat-footed.
And I have flanking, so whatever that does.
It gives it flat-footed.
Cool.
Gonna be just shy, unfortunately, though, with a 22.
Aren't
on
you
that
blessed?
-5.
Am I blessed still?
No,
You used it.
and that got used for a success on or a crit success on investigation.
All right.
It was worth it.
Worth it. Worth it.
well, yeah, it was worth it.
The silver doesn't go away. You can.
Yeah, it's
I
still
still
lasts
got
for a
it.
minute.
All right. What? Okay. What, just whiff it twice. I go. Okay. Give me a second. My
gonna
foot's
be-
still feeling weird.
I'm changing dice. I'm not touching the the base Pathfinder 2e dice
Would you
anymore. I'm
like to
you know
roll
what?
the malachite?
No,
What
I'm
is that?
channeling AJ. I'm pulling
the
up
kill
Squid.
dice?
I'm pulling out the Age of Ashes dice.
Oh boy.
Y'all have had it too easy.
Get ready for 3 20s in a row, boys.
I'm but a child.
You getting that one?
It's a 1.
Come on. Come on. A 3.
The first roll was a 2. The last roll was 3. This thing has rolled. I think it rolled 1 above a 15, and it was on you, and nothing else. And it
Oh
still
my
didn't crit you
gosh.
with that.
Yep.
It's got one more. This thing is just going wild. It's blind. Like, I'm not even rolling attacks. These are flat checks. I have to roll a 5.
Yep.
Nat 20 on the third attack flat check
Oh my gosh, dude.
for a 4.
Hey.
So, is your
He's just
AC
teasing you
18?
now, man.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's not hitting.
not
you.
even that a little bit.
3 actions gone again. This thing.
Welcome to the
I
club.
named this
I'm going
thing
to
the
say,
wrong thing.
The group that I play tested this with, I didn't change his attack rolls. I just gave it some more health and lowered its AC. Apparently that was a mistake because I can't hit anything.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the club, dude.
A monster can't be scary if it can't show you how hard it can hit you.
So I named
I'm
this
sorry.
thing Fearmonger. I might want to take that back.
You can't unname it.
It's now Puppy.
You can't unname the thing.
You had the opportunity to
nickname.
name it Stinky
You can
Steven,
nickname it.
and you didn't take it.
It goes into a sub-note of the bestiary entry.
Puppy. Stinky Steve the puppy.
But Edward,
Oh my gosh.
this thing still plenty present.
Edward, just like high on power of his, like the effect of all this magical stuff he has, just kind of sort of like, ah! And then he rubs this ring that he has and he shoots it forward, and that will be his ring of Ram. I'm going to expend all my actions to do this.
ready.
So this will be a DC 22 Fortitude save, and I'm going to need a lot of D6s. Ideally,
Pass him down.
yes.
I don't need him back.
I'm going to
there.
tell you, it needs a 3 to pass.
A 4, because he's got a -1 to all his saves.
Yeah, it's got a -1. Its base needs a 3.
Okay.
How many? What do you do?
Go ahead and roll your dice. I want to tell you how much damage you're going to deal.
Okay.
So much.
Did he critically fail?
Okay.
Oh, that's a lot of ones.
I did roll a lot of ones, but that's 6 plus 5, 11, 13, 14, 15. Where did I put it down? And then he would be pushed. I mean, if this is a. I mean, what did he roll? Because he might be pushed also 15 feet.
So 15 damage, right?
Oh, yeah.
So 30 damage.
Yes, yes!
Push 15 feet.
He's pushed 30 feet.
30
that
feet.
doubles also.
So go
Can
ahead
he
and
be
roll me
pushed?
2d12.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, because
let
he
me
can't be
figure-
pushed.
2d12.
It can be.
It's got a physical form.
Well, no, because there's people in the way.
Oh no, it can get launched out diagonally.
True.
Man, I don't know where I'm sending it, but okay.
We'll tell you.
That's an 18.
So that's
The 18 comes full circle.
Finish it. Do I get an attack of opportunity because it moved?
forced movement
Forced
does not
movement.
trigger.
This sucks, man. I want to hit it with my sword.
So
Is it out of its little special bubble?
it is definitely outside the bubble now. You
Yeah.
all just hear Edward run up and just charge this ring. He's not a big guy. He's not, Brahm, the monster slayer with a giant sword.
He's
or Blackthorn, the
established tall
enormous
for his
gnome.
age, okay?
For his age. So he's like, what, 5'6"?
Hey, that's how tall I am in real life. That's pretty good.
That was just a random guess. Just hear this pop almost as the ring's magic bursts. And then a panicked scream from Petter as this thing bowls into the corner of his house and knocks a solid wall out from it.
Yes!
66 damage.
Oh my gosh. Wait, another? Wait, what?
That's 30 damage from the ring.
Yes.
Plus the 2d12 also doubled because it crit failed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Dang.
that was a big hit.
How much damage?
Yes!
66 total.
Dang, that's the biggest hit of the day.
Total.
And now if we follow it, we can see it.
Yes.
Big old slam.
As soon as it crashes into the wall, it's like, I got my sights on you.
And give me a spell attack roll on that too.
Oh my gosh, sure. I
I've
would
been trying
love-
to get this thing to happen for a while now.
No, it's a nut one. You forget about it. You never asked for it. I never ruled it.
Say, like,
we can forget that.
is Edward okay after rolling a 1 on a spell attack?
I was trying to give Edward some. You got this light cantrip on you, and I was gonna have the ring like burst with the cantrip and have the cantrip go off, but also get rid of the darkness. But now it's out of the darkness anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. You can't win them all. I already dealt 66 damage this turn. I really should.
66 damage in one
I should
turn.
really let somebody else get a
Don't
hit
get
on it.
greedy.
Yeah.
Can you pass those dice back? I need 6 of
Yes.
them. I need 66.
I need damage. I'm going
Here's
to
roughly
terrible
6
things to this
That's
monster.
exactly
Okay, great. So I've got this steel knife in my hand that just came off of my necklace, and I'm just going to throw it at the monster. And I do have raging thrower, so I do get to apply my
Give me some rage
barbarian
damage on it.
Rage damage on
You
there.
do
I
have
think
a pretty
that's
hefty
looking
penalty
pretty
from range.
good. Do I have a hefty? I do.
It's 3 range increments away from you. Dagger's 10
Wait,
feet.
a die. Oh, or is it? We'll find out what happens.
Was this a dagger or your
This is the dagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go run right up to him.
Still not a bad roll.
It's not a bad roll.
17 is
that.
pretty okay. I mean,
Not bad.
23.
23 with it knocked out of the dark,
And what's
and
what
definitely
minus
having.
4.
Oh, okay. So then it'd be but that make it a 19 then.
Wait, how did you only...
What do I add to that?
Dex.
For this. Wait.
plus your base attack, which is 12, plus your dexterity, which is 3. So plus 17 plus 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that definitely
32,
hits.
26. Or
Definitely hits.
28.
Okay.
Definitely hits.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Big hit.
Hit him. Hit him so good.
That's my
Do a really good hit.
dagger. It doesn't it's tons of damage. so
D4.
much damage.
It's got your range damage
but
on
it doesn't
it.
have
so
the range damage on it. It's
you're
true.
throwing a little dagger and then like
and I did
punching
get the most
damage.
I did get the most of it.
Yeah.
How
so
much?
it's 4, and then I get an extra. So I add that one, right? I definitely add another
It's
8.
as if you hit it with your main weapon. Like the damage bonus.
Yeah, because it's used to get weapon specialization and rage. So how much do you add to your normal attack?
6.
So this would be 4 plus 6.
But then I get 8 for raging.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
So
18.
18.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So you throw a dagger
Jeez,
and
dude.
That's a good dagger.
18. It's an
Over-
18.
yeah.
It's an 18.
It's
you
amazing.
throw a dagger as just to put it into perspective how hard this is. A commoner has 8 health. You would have killed a man twice.
Right through 2 men.
I mean,
Two of the villagers are just walking past.
and since that worked pretty well, I'm gonna reach up to my necklace, and now this time I'm gonna pull a little red ball off, with like a red bead, and I'm just gonna again raging, but my rage is very chill and calm, and you're just like, what is going on? And I'm just gonna loft that at them. What am I adding? I think I've been doing my attack rolls wrong.
The bead would just have a set damage amount. You wouldn't add anything.
Oh, I don't have to add any attack
No,
rolls.
it's,
Okay.
you're basically
casting
throwing a fireball.
I'm throwing a fireball. So I have my
Big
necklace.
old
My necklace is a
Petter's
combination of fireballs and a necklace of knives at once. And the one that I pulled off of it is a 66.
Oh my gosh.
So it just takes
Yeah.
66 and makes a basic reflex.
Yeah,
save.
it makes a save, so
Do you need the reflex save?
it should. I can find it on the
Okay,
item.
I
know
believe,
it.
I have it written down.
Okay.
It's a DC 21.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess I should find out if it actually reflexes before I tell you the damage. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna roll. No, I'll just roll that because he'll be fine. So it has a -1 to all saves.
Yeah.
Reflex isn't tie a save.
Dude, you sound depressed or something right now.
I
You
want
rolled
to
a
do a
2.
scary horror thing and make you.
Yeah,
afraid
we're
of
the scary
monster.
part.
But now the monster's terrified, and it's not. It's the
This is your
fearmonger
nightmare.
because it mongers its own fear.
We are its nightmare.
We are the things
rolled
that
a
go
2.
bump in
We're
the
not-
dark.
Yeah.
It rolled a 2.
We're not
Okay.
trapped in here with you.
So it fails.
It's trapped in here
Yes.
with
I
us.
mean,
We've been hiding under its bed for
right?
years.
No, only in that one
okay,
would crit fail.
Okay.
So how much
26.
damage is it eating in the mouth?
26.
Oh my gosh, dude.
How is it alive?
Beefy.
It hasn't been reacting to a lot of, it's been taking these hits and just not reacting. The first thing that
It's
seemed
not
to,
bloodied.
it didn't look like it.
Okay.
Now you
I mean, I guess we haven't been able to see
you
it.
threw this dagger, you're outside the orb of the dark, so
Yeah.
everyone else except, Pecky and Brahm would not be able to see what happens. Edward would just be able to see the edge of a dagger go flying through and punch this thing further into the wall it's fallen through. And then a massive explosion is just like a tiny little, dice-sized bead is thrown. Petter's house goes up in flames.
You hear hyena laughing.
Standing right next to you, I'm like,
That's
oh,
scary.
sick, dude. Yeah.
It's like that's
And
scary.
just a massive explosion just takes the rest of this wall out, collapses it on top of this thing.
Does it take wall damage?
It doesn't take more wall damage. The wall damage has already
roll
fallen.
for wall.
If you're curious about how much damage you've done total, 208.
Oh my god.
and
Edward
not a
is just
single one of it was
celebrating.
from me.
It is
You're the only one
still
taking damage.
alive.
Oh my gosh. Edward's just celebrating over with Blackthorn. Just like,
not
yes,
by
dude.
much. It's a combination of being just brutally stabbed in its own element, flung across the town, blown up. It's finally showing any amount of
Now that it's
signs.
out of the darkness, what do we see?
Yeah.
It's a weird amalgam. It is still like a shadowy mass, but you can see like a massive dog jaw that isn't in the right place. Like it's off to the left a little bit, not where it should be. It's got this weird, like to Brahm, it has this weird, like everything around it seems distorted for a short distance. Like you're falling into something. Like it, almost like it has a perpetual sand trap around it that you're just falling into.
It's like one of those model universes that we see, like when you're watching a science show.
Yeah. You do see it has a pair of massive wings on its back that have just been folded down. It used them to leap forward once, and it hasn't used it, but being able to see Edward now, you can see sticking out of the back of this thing, probably what's about the size of a full short sword, a massive stinger dripping poison.
Ewy.
And just kind of hanging loose from it doesn't really have arms as much as like
Yeah.
masses of shadow that just sort of have moved out and form claws as they go to strike. It's got just like what looks like the silhouette of vines hanging down from it and just dripping almost that warm kind of jungle water that's falling from the treetops, but it's just musty and not a pleasant sort of rainfall. It is the culmination of all present fears into one hideous amalgamation. And it's looking pretty bad, Pecky.
Guys, we did this.
Look at us.
This is on you. You
I
created
heard
this.
what
Way to
direction it
go.
got launched in.
Yes.
So I'm going to chase off towards it until I'm out of the darkness, which I assume
You'd
would
be
be
able to
about
get up
10
to
feet
it.
away from it.
Yeah, you'd be able to get there in one move.
I use throwing.
No, that's fine.
I don't need to be directly adjacent.
Why go to it?
Yeah. But as I come out of the darkness, I'm going to look at it. Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it? Just this mix and mash, and prepare a stratagem as I'm just examining this thing, because I'm no longer afraid of it.
Yep, you're not afraid, and you're not having to roll flat checks.
Yeah, so prepare a stratagem. I just can't roll good on a stratagem. I guess because it's so esoteric. It's like, I don't know what to expect out of this
What'd you
thing.
get?
That is a 3, so that would be a 19.
19 would miss if you do want to attack, but that would give you the opportunity to throw again. Only at a -4.
Do it again, do it again, do it again.
I haven't
do it
thrown
again.
yet.
If you use stratagem and still attack, you use the first roll, and then he would make another attack.
But I don't have to use a stratagem.
No,
I'm not
you
going to use a 3.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw it. I don't get my bonus damage, but I still get a plus 16 on the roll. Okay, 26.
26 is going to hit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Super hits. Well, it does. What
You're right. Like, I'm not arguing.
6 damage.
Yeah.
7 damage.
Eat it.
7 damage.
Hey.
All it takes is one.
Come on, man.
Timed well.
We can do this.
215 total. What happens?
All man. First damage.
Exact lethal, and you named it, so it does not remain at 1 HP.
So I'm just like, I come out of the darkness. I see this thing. I get to see the whole visage. I get to see what it's trying to accomplish and scaring all of us. And it's just a disappointment. All this trying to think about how to take it down, how to get rid of it. And it has blood and a heart that beats and a neck that this spear goes right into. Not much damage, but the tip of that spear gets right in the jugular.
Perfect shot. And this thing just doesn't fall to the ground or die. It sizzles, almost. Like it's had acid dropped onto it. Parts of its body sort of bubbling into a blackish smoke. Before the entire thing just bursts. Entire body gone. A just cloud of almost smoke spreading out from where it's at. The light at the center of the town immediately starting to brighten. Smoke sort of shifts almost as you see it start to dissipate into what looks like less smoke and more a cloud of black moths that start to swarm towards the light. Each one popping, burning away before it can reach there.
Ooh.
Only a single one getting to the light where it just melts down the side like candle wax. Looking around, you can see the forest again. The lights extending back towards the trees, no longer surrounding to the town itself. And you can see stars again, a lot more than when you first arrived, and realizing for the first time since you got here at all. Since you arrived, there's been nothing in the sky. It's like being inside that sphere of darkness, just able to see. Townsfolk, those that remain here, would certainly be thankful of having dealt with this, and having now more time to go through things. You would go through a bit more of Yulvik's accessories and various items, finding some more information on this thing, theories, and things he thought. You would all find a notebook that believes he's found further information on what made this thing, or possibly more than one. Rumors heard along the trip to here and through the town, indications of threads leading to other investigations and subjects as to where this thing may have come from. The lantern does seem to keep this thing at bay, at least for a while, and he intends to find the source of them before it becomes a problem again, having trusted that the Dark Archive would send people competent enough to deal with it in his wake. Plus,
He's not dead.
he's not. Checking through the notes, he is gone. He's no longer here. He is headed into the woods far to the north, a massive expanse of uncharted woodlands, because going into the woods in Ustalav is a very bad idea. That seems to be where he thinks things are leading. You'd have a chance to rest up for the night while Driver gets things arranged. Pedder would be more than happy to help supply you guys with what they can. But Yulvik's got a day's head start. And finding one man in the expanse of the forest, well, that's going to be a whole nother adventure.
It's a good thing I have amazing senses.
She gonna sniff him
investigator.
right out, dude. He's stinky too.
And who knows, maybe
Yeah, reeks.
if we end up going to look for Yulvik further, maybe that goblin fella that you were supposed to have with you will make his way here.
You'll see and hear in the distance this little gray blob. Wait for me!
I had to run the whole way here. You just left me in town.
I was 10 minutes behind.
But that is where we are going to end our adventure for the day. I thank everyone who has joined us for this fun little one-shot, and hopefully I'll be able to run some more things for these individuals and UGT in general. I hope you all had fun with this, and, well, if our viewers and various fans would like to see more, do feel free to let us know, and I can certainly work on writing up something more. I do intend to, at some point, once I've proofread this, release it for free for anyone else that so chooses to run.
Sweet.
Figure out when that is when we figure that out. But I thank you all for joining us today. I hope you have a lovely evening. Thanks, and have a good night.